some double chocolate chunk cookies. Full Gear in New Jersey. I smell it from all the way over here, man. There were some ups. They were very far and few between, those ups. Oh, there were downs. There were a lot of downs. It seems like this Full Gear isn't operating at its maximum potential. Somebody threw a wrench in the gear. His name is Tony Khan. His creative is dog shit. Full Gear was one of the worst AEW pay-per-views in their 5-year history. So much so that some viral father and son duo who eat Costco was more over than 95% of the roster. Ladies and gentlemen, it's late. The venue's open after dark. We're gonna drink them cold on this early Sunday morning. When I get there, I want you to raise them up. And when I walk through those doors, I want to know on this Sunday morning, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your AEW Full Gear 2024 post show. I am JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this early Sunday morning, wherever you may be. And lo and behold, we dragged him from his Chicago home Out of the cold and into the fire tonight. I am joined by Jesse, the Chi-Town Smart. What is going on, brother?
Bro, how you feel, man?
I don't know, man. I wish I could tell you, man. I wish I had a feeling to give you, man. I don't know what I'm feeling right now. How you feeling?
Oh, I got some feelings, man.
Yeah, well, I always got some feelings, man. Listen, does anybody, Jesse, do you have on hand, by the way, I have to ask you, man, do you have on hand a double chocolate chunk cookie?
I still don't know what that means.
No, okay.
I know it's from them, but I don't watch their content to know what like that reference means.
Oh,
well,
okay.
I don't get it. You sound like the Cookie Monster to me.
Well, I mean, that's what they are. I mean, their whole shtick is double chocolate chunk cookies.
Even if they're not eating cookies, or do they eat cookies every video?
They eat something called a chicken bake. I don't know what it looks disgusting. I don't know. It's probably riddled with fucking cholesterol and grease. I don't know what it is. Bro, I don't shop at Costco. I don't eat at Costco. I don't know what the fuck goes down at Costco. I mean, those big bundles that they sell in Costco, man, don't really fit in the dark horse, man, if you know what I'm talking about. So, not my cup of tea, Costco.
Yeah, I've gathered that that's a reference to what they do, but from what I'm told, they just go around eating a bunch of stuff at Costco. I mean, what do they do if they eat something else? Do they just eat cookies all the time? I don't get these guys. I don't understand.
I don't know, man. I didn't get this pay-per-view tonight, man. You know, listen, Jesse and I were talking about the show on the sound check before we actually went live. We're gonna have, I believe, we're gonna have varying different takes here. So,
we disagree.
Yeah, it's fine. Listen, I don't want nobody to agree with me 100%, man. That's what makes the podcast, that's what makes the live stream a little bit more lively and entertaining. So, as always, you know, I usually let Jesse start off with what he has to say first, and I'll leave it to Jesse, man. The floor is yours. What'd you think of tonight's show? Because I did not find myself to enjoy this show as much as others did.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I got to start off doing. I got to start off with something else first, man.
Okay.
All right. God damn it.
This guy's gonna go get a double chocolate chunk cookie. Look at him. He's gonna get a double chocolate chunk cookie. He's physically getting up out of his chair. This guy, why is he doing this wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jersey? Why is he doing this? Why is he dancing in the venue? There's no dancing here, man. We don't dance in the venue. I don't listen, I'm as clueless as you guys, man. What is that about? Why was that necessary? We love Swerve, by the way. He may not like us. I mean, nobody does, but we appreciate what he does. Why the dance?
Well, so I did a live watch along tonight. Okay, and you know,
was Nana in the chat? Did he give you coffee?
Well, no. So you know, as content creators, we can now set goals for super chats for our channel, right?
Yes.
Well, I set a goal. I said, well, if we reach the goal, then I'll do the live stream with you tonight.
Wonderful.
Well, we made the goal, you know.
We made the goal. I knew we would make the goal.
Pretty early on, too. It was fairly low. Well, after that, I said, well, let's do another goal. So I set another goal, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out what the payoff was going to be to set goal. And we couldn't think of anything. And some a-hole in my chat, I don't know who, I'm going to find out, said, hey, if we reach it, you have to do the Nana dance. I said, what? Then I said, okay, fine. If we reach this goal, I'll do the Nana dance. So I set it as something just outlandish. I set it for like 5 super chats of $50 each. $250 fucking dollars.
And you got $250 to do a Prince Nana dance.
Said my word is bond. I said, if we reach that goal, I will get on this stream in front of the world and do the fucking Prince Nana dance.
Well, that you did, man. I would have made the goal 500 for a double chocolate chunk cookie.
I didn't know, bro. After we made that goal, someone was like, "What's the next goal?" I'm like, "There won't be no more goddamn goals."
I would have made the goal 1,000 to wear a hologram mask.
Fucking hell, man.
I think that's what I may do, man. I may buy the hologram mask and set it at some really, really lofty goal, and I'll do the whole review in the mask with my hat on.
Bro, I'm telling you, these assholes will pay for it and do it.
I know they would.
I said, bro, the first goal was like $100 throughout the stream. $10, super chats, whatever. Then I'll do the fucking review. Sure, why not? I'll stay up late. And after that, I was like, you want me to fucking dance with? Sure. How about this shit? $250.
Look at this. Nax in the chat has already said, I'll throw in 100 for that to happen, for the mask. I don't believe you guys are fucking crazy, man.
See?
You guys are crazy, man. $500 says Salrex. Salrex says, by the way, shout out to Salrex. He made this lovely thumbnail that you guys see right now on the stream. He says $500 if Jesse eats a double chocolate chunk cookie.
I do not eat cookies.
You gotta go to Costco, bro.
My family would tell you I'm not a sweets guy. I don't go around eating sweets, man.
Yes, we're gonna have soon. We're gonna have JD Graham on the podcast for sure.
Bro, I was legitimately in shock. My family is out there in the other goddamn room with a bowl of popcorn. I got half my stream telling me they were gonna clip it and make it a gift by the morning.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure that's gonna be clipped. Whatever you just showcased for us here live on a Sunday morning. So shout out to all the OTS family and the taco crew. You guys are great as always. Let's get down to business, man. Full Gear. I'm going to let you start off with this thing. And again, we have varying opinions on this, differing opinions. What did you think of tonight's festivities from AEW in New Jersey?
I do not think the show was as terrible as this community in this stream is making it out to be. Now, was it one of the worst pay-per-views from AEW? I'll go ahead and say sure. You want to know why? Because they put on banger pay-per-views. I mean, and was it as good as the other pay-per-views? No, because they put on bangers. But I don't think it was a bad show. Now, let me preface that with, it wasn't a bad in-ring performance show. I think the creative brought down the value of just about every match tonight because they all could have been better with better storytelling. Some of them were just flat out bad. The tag match was flat out bad. What was the other one we talked about? The fucking
Ricochet Takeshita.
Ricochet Takeshita was so bad. Other than that, other than those bad matches, I think everything else in the show was either fine or fantastic. And for me, that doesn't equate to a bad show. Now, that does not mean that the storytelling that we got, especially at the end, that doesn't mean any of that shit made sense, because it didn't. That shit was so out of pocket, I don't know what to fucking say. But bell to bell, work rate for a pay-per-view, it was not terrible, all right? That's all I'm saying.
We never have an issue with what happens in the ring with AEW, ever. You know, does things or do things get a little samey, same old, little rehash, a little too robotic, a little too samey? Sure.
Yeah.
I felt like Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher had a banger match. It was a banger match. It was fucking great. Was it the best Will Ospreay match that I've ever seen? No, not even close. Was it the best Kyle Fletcher match that I've ever seen? Probably, because he's in the ring with Will Ospreay. The thing is, with that, you know, you should only be doing one of those matches per show. When you have Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher on the same show, and then 3 matches later you have Ricochet, who basically is a Walmart version of Will Ospreay, and Konosuke Takeshita, 2 fantastic wrestlers in their own right, don't get me wrong. But the match and what we got from Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay was basically duplicated in Ricochet and Konosuke Takeshita, minus the energy, minus the life, and minus the story. It was basically what you got with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. You got probably what played out on week-to-week television, probably the only match in this entire fucking pay-per-view that had any semblance of a story that was actually good. So you got that match, and then you got Ricochet and Konosuke Takeshita, which had zero story. And everything that they were trying to do, we already saw in the Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher match. So why are we going to jump out of our seat in excitement for Ricochet and Konosuke Takeshita? So that's one of the problems that I had with a show like tonight. I felt like this
get announced on social media.
We'll get to that. I mean, we'll save the actual particular criticisms per match for the actual review. That's just one instance that I took away from the show. This show felt like it was 7 hours, 8 hours long instead of 4 hours long. Five and a half hours of the fucking pre-show. They started at 6:30, which I didn't even know. I was fucking sleeping on the couch in preparation for this stream because I thought the pre-show started at 7. 5.5 hours long for this pay-per-view. I don't know how many times I have to say it. I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the fucking face. Nobody's going to get me to change my mind on this. I will gladly take WWE's 5 or 6 match pay-per-views or PLEs over AEW and Tony Khan's pay-per-views of fucking 11, 12, 13 matches. I felt like this was a never-ending show. These shows need a complete reboot. Their pay-per-views are fun. They're great. It's what they're known for. You know, out of 5 years, I think me and Jesse can probably count on one hand how many of them didn't hit in 5 years. That is an unbelievable, trustworthy track record for Tony Khan. But this show wasn't it in terms of length, in terms of flow, in terms of tone, crowd. I mean, I don't really know how many times I have to tell you guys. These shows go by the way that they're formatted. It felt like 8 hours long, but they just constantly, they do one match and they go right into the next. Tonight they did one match. They give you a 30-second or 45-second video package, which I appreciate, but then they go right into the next match. Rinse and repeat from match 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 5 to 6. Every match was broken up by a 30-second video package. And that's not enough time for people to just kind of come down and relax and just wait for the next match to happen. There's no time for the crowd to get up and go to the bathroom and recharge their batteries, go get another beer, go get another fucking thing of popcorn, some more food, just to clear your mind about what you just saw. They ended the Will Ospreay Kyle Fletcher match, and within 30 seconds, they were into the next match. You can't do that. It kills the fucking crowd to a point when we get to that 10 o'clock hour, it sounds like a fucking funeral with 10,000 people. Jack Perry and Danny Garcia went on, and you could legitimately hear people breathing. There was no reaction to the entrances, no reaction to the match. The reaction came when the match was over and Danny Garcia won the TNT title. That is a huge problem. This entire show was riddled with matches that just happened, no story, no life, no reason to care, no emotion, and this entire pay-per-view was spearheaded by a viral father and son duo who go to Costco and make content on TikTok in front of 2.3 million people, and they were more over than 95% of the roster that competed on Full Gear tonight. If nobody finds that to be a problem with what is going on in the current state of AEW, I don't know what needs to happen or how we can get you to wake up. That is a huge problem. An 8-year-old fucking kid named the Rizzler who fucking rubs his double chin was more over than Ricochet, who you're paying multi-million dollars to wrestle for your company. You don't find that to be a fucking problem? Because I certainly do. This entire show was spearheaded by this father and son duo. I have to ask, where was anybody else on the AEW roster doing PR in the greater New York City area? I didn't hear a fucking peep from anybody. Where's Kenny Omega? Where is the Young Bucks? where is Adam Page? Where are the people that are synonymous with this company? Where are the people that have put their fucking livelihoods to make this place successful? I didn't hear a fucking word from anybody, yet you got this father and son duo doing more promotion than any active wrestler on the fucking roster. And then you want to know why I come on here and I claim that nobody truly gives a shit about that company, and they're all robbing Tony Khan blind, and he's a fucking idiot because he's paying everybody to wrestle for him, and he doesn't give a shit what they do or what they say. I have a major problem with all that. I did not enjoy this show. I thought this was the worst pay-per-view that they've ever done. And I'm going to continue to ride the harsh criticisms of AEW until things change. And quite honestly, with what we got tonight and the way the show ended, I'm not holding my breath for anything to change whatsoever. And come 2025, this company needs a fucking hard reset. Everywhere needs a change in AEW. I know it's not coming. So what the fuck am I wasting my breath for?
Yeah, so there was a lot of shit that happened tonight that legit left me perplexed. I was scratching my head. I'm asking chat. I'm trying to figure out why this is happening, why but this happened. A lot of this stuff just it was just nonsensical in the sense of everything we were given before. So it did leave me scratching my head, especially the main event. I have no idea what was going on in that main event as far as the story, why these people are coming out, why this happened, why this needed to happen, any of that stuff. The Mina and the champagne celebration thing, that made no fucking sense to me at all. I didn't understand that. There was so many things that left me questioning why, but that is par for the course for the booking we've been getting for everything leading up to this pay-per-view. I mean, pretty much it was all nonsensical. None of it made sense. I'm willing to wait for an explanation on Wednesday for some of it, but who are we kidding? I'm already ready to just say it's not gonna make sense when they get done talking about it. It just made no sense.
Yeah, just call it what it is, Jesse. This was the worst week-to-week build for a pay-per-view that they probably have ever done.
Yeah,
and it showed. It showed in the show tonight. It showed in the audience and the crowd energy and the life of the crowd. Nothing connected with anybody. And then everybody's watching this shit and then blaming me like I'm the fucking problem. I mean, do you guys got ears? You want to know where the interest is in AEW? I'm watching the scrum right now while Jesse's talking and listening to him at the same time. They have 7,400 people live on YouTube. Remember when those scrums used to do 20,000 live? What happened? You know how many people? You know how many people we got live right now? We got 3,300 people live on this fucking channel right now. Almost half of the AEW media scrum. And you mean to tell me that there's no fucking problems?
Oh, there's a problem.
That's a problem right there.
I don't like coming out and doing these and leading with the negative when there are definitely some bright spots about the show. And for me, it was the talent and what they did in the ring with what they had to work with. I think with the assignments that they had, they went out there and they had good matches. For the most part, again, there was a couple of fucking stinkers out there. There was a couple of matches that were just there. They didn't hurt anything. They were good transition matches here or there. And there was some bangers. But I don't feel like the talent went out there and just stunk it up and just half-assed it. I feel like they worked their asses off. So I feel bad when I come out and I want to start with only the negative. I want to start with what I did enjoy. And I quite enjoyed, especially fucking Ospreay and Fletcher. I think the women killed it. I think in a match with Kris Statlander, who's lost heat because of this just out of the blue face turn, Mercedes, who can't get heat in hell right now, nothing is working for her. Those two women went out there and put on a goddamn banger. I mean, I don't know how they managed to do it with what they've been working with, but they did. They fucking killed it. They surprised the hell out of me.
It was probably the third best women's match in AEW this year, in 2024, behind Stat and Willow at All Out, which I think is the best women's match of their entire year, and then Tony and Mariah at All In. This was the third best women's match of the entire year for them, and that was probably Stat's second best match, the Willow match being number one, and that was probably Mercedes' best match in all of AEW in 8 months so far.
In AEW, it was. I think we give them a lot of shit because, I mean, there's just nothing exciting going on in that fucking division. But to come out and not come out and say, well, there's nothing going on in this division. Let's just put this fucking match on and get out of here. No, they went out there and they planned a fantastic match and they executed a fantastic match. I think they deserve their fucking flowers. Obviously, Ospreay does with Fletcher. Everyone else, it was fine. It was fine. But when you start getting into why this happened or why this is going on, none of it makes sense. And that's the part I do want to get to, but I don't want to get into welcome to the show. Everything was terrible. Like, wait, no. There was some good shit, but there was plenty of nonsensical shit that came along with it. But I do think the talent went out there and they did their best to give the people what they were looking for, which is great wrestling. Keep in mind, guys, TV shows are there and built and structured to give us our story, our interviews, our segments. Pay-per-views are structured to give us bell-to-bell stuff. That's what they're there for. They're not there to give us story. They're there to pull off the matches that the stories were leading to. And those matches tonight were not that bad. The story was awful across the board, though.
The talent is usually never the problem. The talent is usually never the problem with AEW. The matches, most of the time, are never the problem, especially on pay-per-view, where they usually shine most. It's what the talent is given creatively, because they are at it's almost as if they're at a standstill. They're at a war. They can only go so far with what they're given, and the talent always shines through, but the creative always seems to rear its ugly head, because that's what people look for the most. And that's what I've been trying to preach to the choir for months with this company. How many of these matches would have felt different? How much of this crowd would have reacted different if the story was actually there in most of these matches? I mean, it's not even, you don't even have to go back that far. And if you're an AEW fan who fucking loathes us and hates what we do, there's no denying that the audience and the feel of these shows is not the same. They are not. It's not my problem. It's not my fault. It's not Jesse's fault. This is an AEW problem that needs to be addressed. There is no story being told in any of these matches to a point where the crowd is acting emotionally, and there's no way that these people are invested. Go look at All In. The top matches at All In, all four of them. We had Mariah and Tony, Bryan and Swerve, MJF and Will Ospreay. And what was the other one? There was a fourth one on that show. They all had story. They all had story, and all of them were banger matches, and we felt emotionally invested in what they were doing in the ring because the story was being told. Mercedes and Britt, never mind that one. That was a fucking stinker. That was the fourth one. Stories being told. When the story is there, everything else gets enhanced. When you go and give me weeks of television that absolutely fucking sucks, and you give me no story, then you get a pay-per-view like this, and the result is what you got tonight. Not my problem, not my fault. Story is everything, folks. When you start telling Tony Khan that, when you start understanding that, when the people there start understanding that and start, really grasping at that and realizing that's the fucking problem instead of taking it out on fucking me and this guy here, then everything will be a lot easier, man. The answers are right there in front of you. It's not us. We're not the problem. It's your fucking boss who's the problem, because everything runs through him, man. It's like a fucking river. Everything runs through Tony Khan. Not my problem.
Yeah. So here's an example of how much a story can make a match so much better. This is just one that popped into my head, just off the top of my head. In 2011, John Cena, CM Punk, Money in the Bank. It's a 5-star match. All right. John Cena has a 5-star match. If you go back and look at that match, and just look at the match, it was sloppy on so many different levels. It was okay. It was really long. It was probably too long. But the match came out with 5 stars. Well, why? Because when you start looking at the story and the build to it and the importance of it, and then the cliffhanger at the end, it was the story that made it a 5-star match. At the time, it was literally the most important match in WWE history. This guy was threatening to take the world title and leave the company with it. All options were exhausted. They had nothing else to try to stop it from happening. So the match was going to go on, and if Punk wins, the title leaves. Punk won. He walked out. Cliffhanger. You got to watch on Monday now to see what happens next. 5-star match. If you just watch that match and know nothing else about it, that was not a 5-star match.
Story could take a match that ends up being a very middle-of-the-road 2.5, 3-star match and make it a 4.5-star match.
Yep.
That's how powerful storytelling is, and that's how important storytelling is to professional wrestling. There's nothing on this show that resembled any sort of story whatsoever over a long-term period that should get people invested in the characters that are on TV and get people watching week to week with the anticipation of, I can't wait till next week. You get none of that. We used to get that. That's the fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's like we had that once before. Where did it go? That was the feeling. That's the feeling I miss. Danny Garcia wants to wear a t-shirt, restore the feeling. You ain't restoring no feeling, brother. You ain't restoring this company, ain't restoring no fucking feeling. That's the feeling that we need to restore. Where's that feeling? Because that feeling is dead and long gone. That's what they need to go back to, and that's not what they're doing, and they're not catering to those people anymore. It's just banger matches, rush after rush after rush, fucking next match onto the next match onto the next match, not letting people digest what they just watched, not letting people breathe. This is the AEW that Tony Khan wants. I don't know why, but nobody's going to be able to combat him on that. And I can sit here and, again, turn blue in the face and tell him exactly how a fan is interpreting this product who's been here since day fucking one. He don't give a shit what we have to say, yet he knows he's wrong and he don't care. And everybody there knows he's fucking wrong and running the company into the ground, and nobody can say anything because they're NDA'd out the fucking asshole. It's a problem. It's a major problem, and it's starting to show.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't believe that we and the others in the community that are saying the same thing, I don't believe that we're the only ones saying it. I'm convinced that there is someone in his ear, someone who has some pull, someone who's saying, hey, there needs to be some drastic changes. And, just like we've seen in WWE, when there's one guy with complete control and final say, that's just the end of the story. That's just it. Does what he wants.
That's the problem. I mean, I don't know how else we can put it. I mean, I'm looking at his face right now. He doesn't look like a happy guy. Tony just introduced Kyle Fletcher and Konosuke Takeshita with Don Callis. He doesn't look like a happy guy. He looks like he's very bothered. He looks like he's very stressed. He's got his coffee. It almost looks like he doesn't even want to be there.
They got the right ending right there. They told the right story. It's a fantastic match. I was worried they're going to fuck up that ending. They got the ending right. That was a W. That was a dub. That was the biggest W of the pay-per-view right there.
Yeah, we'll get to it. I was very pleased with what they did there. Yeah. And Kyle Fletcher is a fucking beast. He really is. He's
so good, man.
We'll get to that. We'll get to the rest of everything. That's basically the gist of it, folks. This was a show riddled with nonsensical booking decisions, nonsensical fucking TV that made everything just feel flat over 5.5 hours. And I don't know, and I think we do know, but I don't know how it's not changing or how there's no desire to change. I don't know how people don't wake up after what they watched tonight. I don't know how they feel watching something like this. I spent most of my time, over 3 hours at least, out of 5.5 on my fucking phone, just gathering opinions from other people in the community while I was tweeting out. I mean, it's bad. I don't want to be on my phone during a fucking pay-per-view. I want to be watching the show. But you leave me no choice because I'm not emotionally invested in what you're telling. You may be emotionally invested because all you care about is fucking acrobatics and gymnastics and fucking flips and dives and no selling of fucking finishers 6 times in a fucking match. But that's not for me. It's not. We used to like it because they used to add we used to like it because there was fucking story that went along with it. Now you're not doing none of the story, and you're just giving us pro wrestling matches for the sake of pro wrestling matches because Tony Khan thinks that what's going to sell this company and the fans on the product is banger matches.
Yeah.
No.
That's indie show. wrestling. If you take everything that happened in AEW and just, show up and watch it as an indie promotion, not a nationally televised show, just watch it as an indie promotion, you will thoroughly enjoy yourself. I can go to an indie show. I can go to House of Glory. I could not be familiar with any of the story, and I can enjoy everything I see because the wrestling is fantastic. But if you're talking about a television show with continuous story with 2 to 3 shows a week, there should be plenty of stories, interesting stories. Let me preface, interesting stories to go along with your great matches. That's how you get people back. That's how you get the ratings back. That's how you get your credibility back as a company. But all we're getting is great wrestling with not any kind of story that makes anyone compelled to come back.
I'm going to use him as an example here because this is the last thing that we saw last night on Friday Night SmackDown. We saw CM Punk come out. Paul Heyman was out there. He introduced CM Punk as the 5th man for Roman Reigns and the OG Bloodline for War Games at Survivor Series. When Vince was in charge, there was a need for banger matches. The entire industry followed the lead of AEW. They followed Tony Khan and All Elite Wrestling's lead on what needs to be done to make the business a viable threat to WWE. And they did that. They gave us banger matches because we were not getting anything close to what Tony Khan was producing when Vince McMahon is in charge. He was giving us story. He was giving us banger matches. He had the right people around him. He had all the momentum going his way. He was the Lord and Savior of pro wrestling. That was once upon a time. Then Vince went away. Triple H is now in charge. And Triple H is a different beast compared to Vince McMahon, where Vince McMahon left you guessing and asking yourself, what the fuck did I just watch and why the fuck did that happen? Triple H is planting seeds along the way. Just last night, we got CM Punk on the War Games team with Roman Reigns, and at first glance, you're probably asking yourself, well, that doesn't make sense. It certainly does, because if you go back and listen to CM Punk's second promo since coming back to WWE, he mentioned Roman Reigns, and he mentioned, don't be surprised when I get my wise man back, because Paul Heyman was my wise man first before he was ever your wise man. And he mentioned Roman Reigns on that second promo. Fast forward to June 21st of this year, there was a situation with the Bloodline and them being in Chicago and bullying CM Punk. Paul Heyman was already being bullied by the Bloodline. He asked CM Punk for a favor, take me with you. And CM Punk paid that favor back to Paul Heyman last night by showing up in Salt Lake City and is now the 5th man of War Games. Plus, what they did last night is already plant the seed for the eventual SummerSlam match between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. There are levels to this shit, bro. There are seeds planted everywhere. There are seeds planted everywhere, and different stories are growing in a multitude of directions. That's what you need. When Vince McMahon was in charge, there was no story, and Tony was leading the business. Now Triple H is in charge. The business and the perspective of the business has changed. We went from banger matches to story. That's what Tony refuses to acknowledge. Story is where everything leads. Story is what fans want. We don't want banger matches. We do, but when there's story to go along with it, everything else is better because of it. I dare anybody to prove me the fuck wrong in anything I just said, because you can't. There's a problem in AEW, and their negligence for storytelling and their fucking absolute laziness to want to do anything more than banger matches is killing their fucking company.
Yeah. No, I agree. Punk joining that team made 0 sense. But Punk joining the team due to a favor from Paul Heyman, being an original Paul Heyman guy, makes complete sense. The tension that they show between Roman and Punk was there. It needed to be there. They got beef going back to Colt Cabana. And that story needs to be played out, and I'm quite confident it will be played out, but only after they get through the business at hand, which is Punk taking care of his guy Paul because he asked him for a fucking favor. And you can tell right away, they already got issues. Punk did not even want Roman in the Shield. That's going to be an issue, and that's going to come up. That's story, guys. That is story.
And on top of that, I didn't even mention the Punk and Rollins situation because you know Seth Rollins is not going to be happy with CM Punk teaming with the one guy that he said, under no circumstance will I ever team with him. What do you think Seth Rollins is going to think of that? How do you think that's going to factor into Rollins and Reigns' history? Maybe they cross paths and need each other at some point to get rid of CM Punk. I mean, bro, come on, man. There's like four or five different fucking stories in one segment last night, and not a fucking word was thrown at each other.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, we got fucking double chocolate chunk cookies who led the entire show, and the entire show in the last week has been built around this entire family. That's what you call creative? We're going to get into it. I appreciate you guys joining us. Thank you for listening to us rant. Thank you for letting us vent. You know, Jesse and I are going to go over the good. We will. We're going to go over the bad. We're going to go over everything in between. It is something that we do every week. And a lot of people, I hate the fact that my work and this guy's work is sullied because they think that we're on the payroll for Triple H. Some guy told me that I was paid by WWE to put out tweets negative about AEW. I mean, these people are fucking delusional. They're absolutely fucking delusional. Meanwhile, I guarantee you half of the fucking people who don't like us are watching us right now, and they're already clipping the fucking show to engagement farm on social media. Oh, look at these two clowns. I mean, I would love for you to prove me wrong. Where did anything that I said is wrong? Where?
And that's why I believe it's important, before we say anything else, I want to lead with what we enjoyed, because there was plenty to enjoy. I'm still a pro wrestling fan at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, pro wrestling is what I enjoy. So I enjoyed the pro wrestling that we got. And like you said, the pro wrestling that AEW gives us is never in question. All right. It's always great. I don't want to take it for granted and skip over it and jump straight to the bad. So when they do start clipping shit that we say that we didn't like, I'm going to come back and say, you skipped over the shit that we started with, which was the great stuff. And you jumped right to the stuff that you disagreed with. So I want to put that out there, man. We're going to give them shit because they deserve shit. And we're going to give them hell because they give us shit. So when we do, don't sit there and act like all we do is bash the company, because we're going to sit here and talk about the stuff that we actually enjoyed, which is the stuff, I mean, I'm not going to lie, we come to expect it at this point because they give us great wrestling. But that is because you have, my God, man, such a talented roster. I think we can sit and debate on who has the best roster between the two companies, but it's a debate to be had, all right? The talent on AEW's roster is amazing. So when they give us banger matches, that's what I expect. But you give these guys nothing to work with. Absolutely nothing. You are giving us a Corvette engine put into a Ford Escort, all right? It can go, but it looks like shit. You have to give us both, man, and you can't give us both if you are not willing to change your creative direction when you know it sucks. You know it sucks because people are telling you it sucks. When it was great, people told you it was great, and you were right here welcoming all of the accolades. Oh, thank you. It's great. It's great. It's great. And I'm telling you right now, I want to be on the record again saying this. I think the AEW creative went down the toilet the moment that Cody and Brandy left. And I mentioned Brandy in this because that's when the women start going down the shitter too.
Yeah, I agree. Everything needs a complete reset. Everything needs a change. The feel is not there, no matter how much they want to lie to you. It's exactly what they're doing. They're lying to you. There's no feeling. The restoring the feeling bullshit is fucking a false narrative that they want to pretend everything is all right, and it's just a way to deflect away from their problems. They will never admit that there's a problem with their company. Meanwhile, we all see it. We're not stupid. They're going to pretend like we're stupid, but we're not stupid. We're some of the smartest fucking community in the entire IWC, man. Give me a break. And we're going to go over everything.
Omega said everything is fine.
Everything's great.
Everything is great.
AEW Dynamite's running like clockwork, Kenny Omega said. Sure thing, guy. Sure thing, guy. I mean, give me a break. We're going to go over the Full Gear card in full. Thank you guys very much for joining us here on Off the Script Full Gear Review 2024. Once again, shout out to my guy Sal Rex making this beautiful boom layout and thumbnail. Always a talented guy, that Sal Rex. He's a big fan of the double chocolate chunk cookies.
My kids are aware of those guys.
I'm sure they are.
they heard me mentioning it to my wife. Like, oh yeah, we know those guys.
Just don't take your kids to Costco.
No, we don't do Costco.
Make sure you guys follow us on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Same thing for Jesse. Go hit the subscribe button on his channel. He's got a YouTube channel, Chi-Town Smark. Go check him out. Twitter as well, at Chi-Town Smark. Hit that thumbs up. We need 200 likes for 1,000, man. I'd love to get at least 1,500 being the goal tonight. If you guys can do that. Jesse, we going to say something?
Yeah. Just quick shout out to Taco Crew and OTS family, everybody who showed up for the watch along. It was easily the best turnout. I had about 370 live at one time towards the end of the stream.
Oh boy.
The donations were fantastic. The conversation, we had fun tonight, man. Shout out to everyone who showed up, man. That was fun.
There you go. Look at that. So make sure you guys go follow him over there. Thumbs up. Let's try for 1,000 likes. Easy. 1,500 is the goal tonight. Make sure you guys get those super chats in. We're going to hang out at the end of the show as always. And please go check out all the content on the channel. There is plenty of it. And the second channel, booming. We just hit 7,100 followers, subscribers over on the second channel. We just hit 7,000 yesterday, man. So we had 7,100 today. So things are looking great on the second channel. We'll be at 10,000 subs at the turn of the new year. No doubt about it. 0 hour. I was sleeping at 6:30. I had no idea that the show started at 6:30 because I always prep before these AEW marathons, these pay-per-view marathons with a nice little nap in the afternoon. So I missed the first 0 hour match. We're not going to spend too much time on the 0 hour because nothing really happened outside Big Boom and AJ, whatever the fuck his name, Big Justice and Big Boom AJ.
I don't fucking know.
Anna Jay and Deonna Purrazzo, Jesse. You watched this match with Taya Valkyrie in Deonna Purrazzo's corner. What happened here, man? You texted me something, and I just laughed because it's like we just talked about her on Wednesday, man, and here she is on the pre-show in her home state, and she loses, man.
Deonna Purrazzo, the leader of the women's locker room in TNA, was signed to AEW. It was her big break. You know, she got a big farewell. Deonna killed it. She was the best bell-to-bell wrestler in TNA, female. And she came over and happy to have her here. And she's been relegated to Collision and Rampage for some reason. I found out she's in a tag team with Taya Valkyrie. And also, look, man, there's what's up?
What is going on? What is this noise? Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't know what the fuck that was.
I thought I heard something too. Were you watching the scroll?
Yeah, I was scrolling on my phone. I don't know. I guess sound went on accidentally. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we can hear it, man.
Yeah.
But so they brought in Deonna Purrazzo. It's great. They got her on Rampage. They have her on Collision. I don't know why. They have a team with Taya Valkyrie. And by the way, again, bro, I'm just spitting out what I see. And you look at Taya Valkyrie and the way she was dressed out there. I mean, it's I don't know how else to say it. She looks like a trans male out there and the way she's looking and the way she's dressed. I don't know what this gimmick is, the way they have her looking, but she looks god-awful, and she's looked better than that. So I don't know what this is, but she looks terrible. But nonetheless...
Well, you got me afraid now to go back and watch what happened here.
She does not look good at all. She's someone else that they're misusing. Taya Valkyrie is better than the way that she's being treated.
Who?
And they get
Taya, you Lucha Underground Taya.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. The badass over there who's out there beating the shit out of men in Lucha Underground.
The multi-time Impact Women's Champion.
Yes. That's how they're treating her over there. She looks god-awful. They're treating her like shit. But they got Deonna Purrazzo in a one-on-one match in the pre-show, the buy-in with Anna Jay, like you said, in her home state, and she loses. What the fuck, man? What are you... They are treating her worse than Jamie Hayter right now.
I didn't watch the pre-show, man. Listen, I'm glad I was still sound asleep, man. I was like New Jersey at the fucking where were they? The Prudential Center, and I was half the fucking crowd. This was me at 6:30.
It was fucking.
What is this
ridiculous.
noise? It's my iPad acting up. What the fuck is going on here, bro?
I don't know. You have an ad playing in the background?
I don't know. I got my notepad out with my fucking notes. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. You might have an ad playing on the site. So I'm pretty confident. I feel pretty confident in saying that if you would have told Deonna Purrazzo that within a year of signing with AEW that she would be regulated to the pre-show and losing to Anna Jay in her home state, I feel like she wouldn't have come. I just feel like she wouldn't have left. She was at the top of her game in TNA. She was the headline attraction for the women, and look where she is now. I don't understand it. I feel like she must have said something great about CM Punk or something somewhere.
I'm sure
What
they
are they
did.
doing with it? I mean, what is going on?
Well, I mean, CM Punk, when he was before WWE, he showed up at a couple of random Impact tapings, man. Who knows what happened backstage, you know?
Fucking hell. It's a waste. I wouldn't call it a waste if the women's division was booming. I mean, they got so much going on. They can't push enough people. I mean, they got so much. It's trash. And Deonna Purrazzo is someone that you need to be using to help not make it trash. She can take care of herself on the microphone. She can go bell to bell. What is the problem here?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. So, you know what, folks? I don't care. Anna Jay beats Deonna Purrazzo, and Deonna Purrazzo, you know, she had a lot to say about not wanting to go back to WWE, man, but I would be a betting man to say that she's probably second-guessing joining AEW, man. Maybe TNA is looking like a little bit of a better home for her nowadays. Absolutely criminal creative for someone who was praised as the female Kenny Omega belt collector. Should be ashamed of yourself. Good. Fucking ridiculous.
So good, man.
Buddy Matthews. He wrestled Dante Martin Commander, and oh my God, man, the Beast Mortos. Frank the Attorney made an appearance during the pre-show, man. Oh my goodness. Fatal 4-way.
You have a Beast Mortos voice?
We do not.
Oh, what the fuck?
No, we do not have a Beast Mortos voice. But Beast Mortos, he was out there on the pre-show. We got a Fatal 4-way. Why? Because Tony can't help himself. He needs his rental luchas out there, man. So we got Dante Martin, Commander, Beast Mortos, and Buddy Matthews. And we got Commander flying in with a springboard Poison Rana, which led to Martin's Frog Splash. He made the cover, but Matthews connected on a curb stomp to steal the win in this Fatal 4-way. Good to see Buddy Matthews get a victory, but ultimately it means nothing.
He's one of the best wrestlers they have in that company.
Yes, he is. I'd be. This I don't know if it's a hot take or not, because I've always praised him. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the fucking world, period. It's great.
He's out again, bell to bell. I mean, I have him, and if we're going to talk in the world, bell to bell, I'll put Buddy Matthews in my top 20. And that is very high praise.
That's a fair assessment.
Yes, I mean, that's everywhere around the world. I'll put him in the top 20. He's that damn good. He should not be on a pre-show match at all.
So we ended the pre-show with Big Boom AJ with his son Big Justice and the Rizzler, who rubs his double chin. I can't rub my double chin because I don't have one. He's sitting at the timekeeper's table. He was the special ring beller. Right? He's the timekeeper. So we got Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall. QT Marshall got his entrance first. And he comes out. He's got this specific theme song. I bring the doom to you. He's got this whole Doom outfit on. He comes out with security guards who are his Doom guards. They really played up the story here with QT Marshall coming out kind of being the Doom to AJ's Big Boom. So Big Boom AJ makes his ring entrance. And I don't know. I got kind of uncomfortably awkward watching him come out there because he took literally forever to get out there. And he's walking around ringside and he's fucking clapping every fan around the ringside area. Every fan that was there, he shook hands and gave high fives to. I'm like, all right, bro, your 15 minutes of fame is coming up now. It's like, get in the fucking ring and ring the bell and let's wrestle. We got Paul White out there. He came out there, and he was a guest commentator for this match.
Oh, he was?
Yes, he was. We got Big Show out there. It's no more BS for Paul White. You know, it's in his theme song.
Oh, yes.
So the bell rings, and this got started a little slow in the beginning. I gave this no real credit. I thought this was going to be a fucking disaster waiting to happen. So there was some early takedowns from QT, who mocked AJ's dance. AJ returned the favor. He got a "you still got it" chant. For what? I don't know. There wasn't a fucking wrestling move thrown yet, and we got "you still got it" chants. Marshall hit a shoulder tackle, but he ran into a power slam by AJ for a near fall, which looked good. High back body drop, clothesline to the floor by AJ. As QT Marshall, his security is fanning him off, you know, cooling him down. And Marshall tried a flip dive, but AJ sidestepped, and he took his security guards out with a big dive over the top rope back to the outside. So Marshall hit a kick through the ropes as AJ tried to get back in the ring, and there was a snap DDT that followed. So we got a cameraman. The cameraman cut to the Rizzler about 3 or 4 different times, and he looked a little awkward just being on camera, man. Every time he was on camera, he was just sitting there like a good little boy, and then when the camera was on him, he had to do the fucking double chin rub. So we had to play the gimmick up for the camera. So we want Rizzler chants. Rizzler was more over than, I would say, 95% of the roster tonight. He got some of the biggest reactions of the night, believe it or not. So AJ started hulking up, and he came back with some punches. He planted Marshall with a spine buster. You know, Big Boom Justice here, or Big Boom AJ, I'm sorry. He actually has a pretty decent-looking worked punch. I got to give him that. Some people can't even get that right, and we've seen terrible fucking punches thrown throughout the annals of pro wrestling history. He's got a decent punch. So, throwing some...
Apparently he's a trained wrestler?
Yeah, 20 years ago, yeah. So, he is throwing the gimmick punches, high back body drop, and we get Rizzler on the outside. He is looking on. AJ starts hulking up, planted Marshall with a spine buster. AJ went up top, hit a diving clothesline before following it up with a power slam for 2. Marshall caught AJ off guard with a handspring Pele kick, and then he followed with a diamond cutter. He only got a near fall off the diamond cutter. So Marshall went after the Rizzler all of a sudden. Big Show gets up, and he chases Marshall away. Excalibur questioned if QT was about to assault a child, something that I don't think they really should play with, but here we are. Marshall went up top. He was cut off by AJ, who hit a really good-looking superplex. Aaron Solo, the former Mr. Bailey, hit the ring, and he ran distraction.
Still there?
Oh, yeah. He ate a punch for his interference. This allowed Marshall to hit a pump kick. Solo took the ref. Big Justice came in, and he nailed QT with a spear. I'm not gonna zing it too bad. He's what? How old is he? 11, 10? However old this kid is. He hit a spear on QT. Probably a great moment for him. So this led to AJ hitting a power bomb for the 1, 2, 3. AJ, Big Justice, and the Rizzler all stood in the ring and celebrated, and they got a very wholesome reaction from the New Jersey crowd. They popped with the victory.
Wait, QT Marshall took a spear from an 11-year-old?
Yeah.
And he sold it?
He sold it, yeah.
How big is that kid?
He's quite large.
Oh, okay. Well,
he eats chicken bakes for a living, bro. I mean, what do you expect? I mean, he eats double chocolate chip cookies on TikTok. It's like,
what the fuck?
You know?
Sorry. Good for the kid. He's on a nationally televised pay-per-view at 11 years old. Good for him.
Fantastic. A wholesome, heartwarming father and son moment that I'm sure will be with him for the rest of his days, man. It's great, you know? So I'll leave it to you, Jesse. What do you think about the whole process here? The fact that this was probably the most anticipated match on the entire show, believe it or not. And the one match that was hyped up in the mainstream media through every outlet. I mean, they were on MSNBC. They were on Fox Business. They were on fucking wherever it was. Hulu. I don't know where the fuck they were interviewed. They were all over the place. How do you feel about this after the fact? And how do you feel about this taking precedent over most of what happened on the pay-per-view tonight?
All right, so I'm gonna try to get a read on both sides of this. I mean, and there's the side of, well, it's a lot of exposure for the company for a lot of people who honestly probably did not know that the company even existed. I understand that. Okay. I sincerely do. I saw something that Taz said, about the eyes that it brings to the company and everything else. I sincerely understand that. I really, really do. My whole concern with it is something like this, a collab like this is something that I would expect from WWE. It is legitimately something that I could see WWE doing at like a SummerSlam or WrestleMania or something like that. And it's just not the kind of thing that I'm accustomed to AEW doing. Not that there's something wrong with doing collabs like that with celebrities or things like that, but that's just not the kind of audience that you are trying to attract. What are you telling kids? Come along, watch this product. It's great, and you'll enjoy it. And then while they're here, you can watch them. You can have them watch Jon Moxley put on a gore fest with another wrestler, or you can have them watch Mina and Harley Quinn shaking their tits. Okay? I don't understand why you are trying to attract a smaller, younger audience to show them a product that is more or less rated TVMA, than PG. I don't understand. You're trying to grab the wrong the wrong audience, man. I don't agree with who these people are associated with as it pertains to the product that AEW puts on. I'm all for getting more eyes on the product. I'm all for the company expanding. I just think this was not a great choice of who to choose to bring said eyes over to the company. All right. And the flip part about it is, why do you have these guys doing all your promotion or most of your promotion? Why are these TikTokers more over than your top stars? That is a problem. All right. That's a different problem, but nonetheless, I don't want to see things that I expect to see in WWE. All right. Just because you're behind them right now, just because you're trailing them right now, does not mean you should start doing exactly what they're doing. Go back to what brought you to the dance. And TikTokers who munch and talk about cookies is not, that's not the identity of the AEW that I fell in love with originally.
No, this is pathetic. And you got everybody on social media. They're all glazing the views that it did on social media. Oh my God, it did 11 million views for AEW social media. I don't give a fuck about AEW social media views. That's not going to bring audience and actual human beings to the fucking building and into Dynamite every Wednesday. And it's not going to get people to watch Dynamite every week. You transformed none of their audience into fans. None. I don't know how this worked in the way that they're anticipating it to work. You could be on MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, Fox Business, fucking your Aunt Tilly, your fucking ESPNs. I don't give a shit where you were. The problem is that none of your roster is at the level of a family that makes content in Costco and eats chicken bake and double chocolate chunk cookies. You don't find that to be a fucking problem. You got Big Justice and Big Boom AJ along with Tony Khan doing promotion for AEW Full Gear, which is a flagship original for pay-per-view for AEW. And I see no Ricochet in the mainstream media. I see no Will Ospreay. I see no Mercedes. I see no Jon Moxley. None of them. They were nowhere in the public eye, on TV, on a talk show. Nowhere. It's this family. It's this father and son. Secondly, WWE raised the bar to points where I don't think it will ever be topped. Raised the bar for celebrity appearances, especially in ring, for a wrestling match. Logan Paul and Bad Bunny have set the bar so fucking high that everybody that comes after them, no matter what promotion they're in, is going to look like a piece of shit. So you bring in this fucking family who's only known on TikTok, and that's what you got? That is so lowbrow, bro. You know, WWE's got Bad Bunny, WWE's got Logan Paul. Nobody cool. Nobody with a fucking reach like that. Fucking world-renowned musical artists, world-renowned athletes are going to want to work with AEW because AEW is not fucking cool. AEW has to settle for the fucking bottom of the barrel TikTok influencers who make cringy content like fucking Big Justice and AJ Boom over here in Costco. Yeah. So that's second. That's number two. Third, how many people who are watching this pay-per-view were more interested in this match than any other match on the show? That's the problem that I have. And I even said it on social media. This was the most hyped match, the most pushed match on the entire show. They gave us 4 weeks of television build, and not one single match and not one single story was more hyped up than Big Boom, AJ, and Big Justice versus QT Marshall. This roster is touted as this is where the best wrestle. We all know that this is where the best wrestle. They got an incredible roster. But the problem is, you sacrificed weeks of storytelling because you think fans know, and we all come to know, that your pay-per-views are guaranteed bangers. You gave us a terrible product, and you sacrificed story, and the week of the pay-per-view, this is the match that you're going with, and this is the match that you're pushing. If the TV shows were better, if the stories were better, I genuinely don't think that people have a problem with this being promoted, with this match happening. And the fact that everything else around this match is the drizzling fucking shits, and their TV has been god-awful for weeks, that's where the problem lies. How do you think optically your AEW true core fan base is looking at this? You can't tell a proper story, yet you're giving more promotion to fucking Big Justice and Big Boom AJ than over anything else on this pay-per-view. Tony Khan and the family have been everywhere on TV, in the public, promoting this match. Everything else on the card, inconsequential. You have men and women in this company dying for an opportunity, and because the family eats fucking chicken rolls from Costco, they get top billing literally everywhere and are on major news outlets across mainstream media. They could not be bothered to write anything remotely captivating, yet you went all in on a cringy viral family in hopes of generating interest, and it only snowballed the way that it did because AEW themselves no, they have absolutely no interest for this pay-per-view, and the men and women who appear on this TV weekly, they have to play second fiddle to fucking Big Boom and Big Justice. This match shouldn't be a priority. It's been given this top billing over your weekly TV show. It should have been a compliment to everything else that was on your show. And Jesse, the final point I want to make is if they truly wanted to capitalize, this is how clueless AEW is, if they wanted to truly capitalize on making this a big deal for the pay-per-view and a big selling point for the pay-per-view, why did they give it away on the pre-show? Instead of putting it on the pre-show, they should have booked better stories and better characters on your weekly television and then put this on the middle of the show to generate interest, to get people to buy the pay-per-view, to tune into the actual pay-per-view to see this family if they were that over, and have them be the compliment that I just mentioned, man. If the stories were better and this was on the card, I think a lot of people would have been a little bit more easygoing about the entire process. But the fact that this was the one match that was hyped up more than anything on this show, that's where the problem stems.
Yeah, you made a couple of good points there, man. WWE, they go out and they get a Bad Bunny, a Logan Paul, and those guys are, huge, viral social media draws and everything like that. And they bring a lot of athleticism to the table. They bring an older audience to the table, and they perform their asses off. I'm not going to, go all in on giving them all that credit because for every Logan Paul, there is a sexy red out there too. All right, so they're not all hits, but at the same time, they know where to tap into. I mean, to get the attraction that they want and also bring an element to it. I actually enjoyed watching Logan Paul matches. He's
great.
And Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny was fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah,
and you know what? Me and many others were doubting his ability. You know what he did? He trained in the fucking performance center weekly to get better. And look at what he did. Look at the performances he churned out.
Yeah. Bad Bunny from all aspects that I can see is a straight up good dude. You know, is a good guy. Logan Paul's a dick. Logan Paul's a piece of shit. But nonetheless, I have no problem watching that guy work, man. He can fucking go in the ring, and he works his ass off. And you can tell he took his training seriously, and he applied it. Good on him. You give me this shit that we got here tonight, I have no interest in that, man. No. Even if I knew who they were, I could not see myself having an interest in watching them perform anywhere near an AEW ring. I watch YouTube all the time, man. There are plenty of viral YouTube stars that would draw and bring a lot of eyes to the product, guys that I don't want to see though. And I'm a core AEW fan. I feel like I represent a lot of people who were there from day one watching the AEW, and I feel like that's just not the kind of thing that I feel like would vibe in the AEW that I've always loved. You know, so I don't understand why they're doing that other than them trying to be like WWE. I think this was a bad call. This was not a good reach out. I don't mind them reaching out to celebrities and things like that outside of the wrestling world. That's great, but you got to pick and choose your spots. You just can't grab whoever says yes. That's just this was not a good pick at all. You got to come with someone better than that. Someone with some kind of athleticism, someone you can do a cross promotion and it makes sense. I'm sorry, man. This was just not it for me. This was not it.
What was this fun? Sure. I'm all about having fun. When I want to have fun, I know how to have fun. I thought this was fun. It was wholesome. I understand why they did it. Did I like it? Did I like the optics of it? Did I like the decision process, the decision-making process going into getting this cringy family on TV? No, I did not. I like Jesse said, this is not for me. This is not for a lot of us. When the product is suffering right now creatively, the worst they've ever been, and the fact that they don't put anything like this into their actual roster, that's where the problem stems. This got top billing. And the fact that they are thinking, they want you to believe that this is going to be, this is great for the company. This did nothing for the company. This did nothing. This had zero long-term effects for AEW. They would want you to think it does. They will continue to shill to you that it does. And they will continue to answer back to their doubters on social media that it will. It has absolutely zero to do with what is happening from this point on with AEW. If anything, Big Justice and Big Boom AJ, their stock is going to rise for what they do. Meanwhile, AEW gets zero from this partnership. You're not going to transform. What do you think? The ratings are going to go up over 750,000 because they had fucking the Costco guys on TV wrestling a match? No.
Even worse. What if it does? Now what are you saying? Are you gonna present them every week?
You're gonna bring him back and have him wrestle who?
Yeah. I mean,
you're gonna make him fucking Big Justice and the Rizzler, the trio champions?
I mean, what the fuck? You gonna keep bringing them back, or are you gonna go out and find some other just baby TikTok star? You're gonna find Lil Tay or some shit? I mean, what? So what going forward? This is not who your core audience is used to seeing from you. Do better than this. Reach out to someone with some kind of a adult following at least. Like, this is a bunch of kids on TikTok, man.
Not for me. It was fun for what it was, but hopefully this is the last we see of double chocolate chunk cookies. If I ever find myself in Costco, I will be vlogging myself buying a double chocolate chunk cookie, okay?
I would.
Curious to know how these fucking things taste. The actual show now. Tag team titles on the line. Fatal 4-way for the AEW Tag Team titles. Private Party, Outrunners, my guys Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. Happy for them that they actually got pay-per-view billing here. The Acclaimed, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens with Daddy Ass, and Malachi and Brody King, who got their actual song played by the musicians who write their theme music. So that was pretty cool to see. I forgot the name of the band. I'm not familiar with them, but good on them for getting some exposure on pay-per-view. The big story here, Jesse, is the Acclaimed. And there was Max Caster's rap, as always, before the show, or before the match, rather. And he did not end with "Everybody loves the Acclaimed," and he did not hand the microphone over to Anthony Bowens. Instead, he put himself over as the greatest wrestler alive, and then he threw the microphone in a very mean-spirited manner towards Anthony Bowens. What did you make of that little situation with the Acclaimed?
Well, they've been teasing their breakup, you know, and this is another layer to it. Personally, I just feel I mean, now I'm gonna get into the things where, like, personally, I'm not enjoying. I understand what they're doing with the storytelling, with the Acclaim and the eventual breakup. To me, I feel like it's being drug out too far. It's kind of reminding me of what they're doing with the New Day right now. I mean, let's get to this shit or don't. I mean, I feel like it's taking too long. But I understand why they're doing it. It's just not interesting. I mean, but clearly they're heading towards a heel turn. Not too sure exactly who's going to turn, because that's one of the things they normally do, where they'll tease an obvious turn, then it's the other one that turns. Either way, if we're going to do it, I'm at the point where it's just, I'm ready to, like, have them shit or get off the pot here. I mean, it's kind of just dragging the feet. There's nothing interesting going on with this teasing of a breakup right now.
Yeah, I can't find myself interested in anything the Acclaimed are doing. And that's sad, because a couple of years ago, when they were the hottest tag team in all of the industry with Scissor Me Daddy Ass and fucking all the chants and whatnot, I mean, everybody, legitimately, they turned it into a catchphrase. Everybody loves the Acclaimed, and they did. Everybody loved the Acclaimed, and then Jesse and I ranted about it for weeks. That one fabled moment where they won the tag team titles, and they had that little back and forth with the guns, and from that moment on, man, they were never the same. The creative for that situation completely derailed them to where we see them now, and they never recovered.
No, you know what the problem right there was? I mean, at least from what I can see, it looks like that they got something that got over with the Scissor Me Daddy Ass thing. I feel like they just drug it out, and they just milked it for all they could with merchandise and belts and foam scissors. I feel like they should have pulled the trigger on making that turn while they were at the height of their popularity with this. That Scissor Me bullshit had a shelf life, and you can see it from a mile away. That was not going to fucking last, and they milked it until no one gave a shit about it anymore. They ran it into the ground, and now they're trying to get us back interested in the Acclaim with this tease of a breakup. They should have did it while they were hot. Pissed people off that they stopped giving the scissor thing. At this point, we don't care about the scissor thing. We don't care about the heel turn. We don't care about shit they're doing right now. They waited too long.
By the way, guys, if you're dual streaming and watching us and the post-show media scrum, I don't know how many times I need to explain to everybody. I still have right now, currently, people sending me screenshots of the chat. I don't know how many times I have to tell you, I am not in the chat. That is not me. Whatever is going on in the post-show media scrum and the pre-show chat, it is not me. If the account does not have a verified check mark, then it's not me. When I post in the chat, look, I have a check mark next to my name. JD from NY206 with a check mark. If you don't see that, it is not the official account. How could I be over there when I'm here?
Somebody asked me that.
Am I doing magic? Am I sending fucking hypnosis to the fucking chat? I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
If you just click on the name, guys, it'll take you to that channel. And when you click on that name and you see a dude with no videos up, you know it's not him.
Fucking ridiculous, man. Anyway, this tag team match with the Acclaimed and these three other teams, House of Black, we got Private Party and the Outrunners. We'll pick it up towards the end here because that's where things really broke down. I did not enjoy this. I mean, there's just nothing here. There's no story. I mean, there was a fatal four-way little challenge that, had other teams vying to get into this spot. House of Black beat FTR. Who was it? The Acclaimed beat LFI. The Outrunners got in. They beat somebody. I forgot who. So everybody advanced and won matches to get into the specific match. There was no real story with this. But the Acclaimed is the big story that came out of this. There was a spot here where Caster was in, and Brody King was in there as well. He flattened Bowens with a black hole slam, corner cannonball with Aleister Black or Malachi Black. He will soon be Aleister Black, hopefully. They tried it again. Caster swept the leg, allowing Outrunners to successfully hit Total Recall on Brody for 2. Caster flew off the top rope with a dropkick on Malachi. There were "fuck you, Caster" chants in New Jersey. So I think New Jersey's not a fan of his mustache, bro. I don't think they like his mustache.
Good to see. That's a good little peek into what a heel run might be for him.
Bowens just stared at his partner as Daddy Ash tried to give them some team advice. Caster laid down. Bowens covered his partner for 2. Apparently, there was a situation where they were in the ring at the same time. Did you see this, Jesse? I was very confused by this. Caster was laying down for... Bowens, rather, was laying down for Caster. I don't know how they could both be the legal men at the same time. They were both on the same team. How could both men from the same team be the legal men?
So yeah, it was Caster that laid down and wanted Bowens to cut. Caster laid down and spread his legs wide eagle too, which was, a no Diddy moment right there. And they wanted to pull the old DX. They had Billy Gunn on the outside, pulling the DX, pin me, let's get the win type deal. And dumbass Rick Knox goes for the count too. I don't get that. That was just idiotic, man. But how were they legal? I don't know. Wasn't there a structure of if you get tagged in, you're in? You can tag in anyone?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think one guy had to be in the ring at all times, and they just completely changed the rules on the fly here. I don't really understand that. How could both people from the same team be in the match as legal men? It's so early. It's so late right now. I can't even fucking wrap my head around that. Anyway,
yeah, but I think the worst part about it was the referee counting the shit.
Yeah, and Rick Knox, of course, it was Rick Knox.
Just sitting there like, all you had to do was just get the fuck up. I'm not counting that. I'll start the count. 1, 2, and what the fuck? Why would you count that?
I don't know.
Why?
Blind tag by Caster on Bowens, who tried for a crucifix on Zay as he wanted a mic drop. Bowens hit the arrival. Turbo Floyd interrupted the elbow, allowing Private Party to hit Gin and Juice to pin Max Caster. They are teasing up breaking up the Acclaimed on television. And I got to shout out my guy here because he is coming in big. MGM Bowling with a $100 super chat. He says, just getting home from Full Gear. I cannot lie. The Costco Guys were a lot more entertaining than the convoluted main event aftermath. That ending made me want my money back, and I got tickets for free. Fun show to be at, though. Keep doing what y'all do. TK needs to wake up. Ballin', thank you very much, brother. Get home safely. Oh, you just got home from the show? Yeah. Glad you got home safe. Appreciate you as always, brother. Thank you for tuning in late to this Full Gear post. The story here was the Acclaimed. Now, I said on social media, Jesse, it reminds me of the Tommaso Ciampa Johnny Gargano situation from Friday Night SmackDown. I said at first, let's break him up because I'm just so wanting to see evil Ciampa again. You know better than anybody how great Tommaso Ciampa was as a heel during Black and Gold era NXT and how great Johnny Gargano was as a babyface. And not everybody knows that saga. Not everybody knows that story. So I would love to see if Triple H kind of reimagines that on the main roster and maybe it leads to them kind of feuding again on the main roster. That may be too soon. That tag team division is a little weak. There's no depth there. So maybe having Johnny kind of lower himself to be equal to Ciampa and realize that Ciampa is right is the way to go. With this, it seems like they are on the rocks, and it looks like with the Hurt Syndicate kind of giving Max Caster the business card that Max is probably thinking about joining the Hurt business. I don't really understand why AEW would make their tag team division worse right now, which is an eyesore for the company. They got just as many problems as WWE does with their tag team division. And in this current era of AEW, with Bowens and Caster taking nothing away from how good they are, I don't really see them surviving on their own with this roster going anywhere as singles competitors on this roster with this show. I don't see them doing anything. It's almost as if they're dead to rights if they split up the Acclaim. Do you feel that way?
So I feel like they should be able to make it as singles. I feel like there's some meat on the bone to have them feud against each other for a little bit. But then when that's said and done, I mean, yeah, you're right. After that, now what? I feel like that would be up to creative, and we know how we feel about creative, so I think it would fail miserably. I think they need each other to get over organically. I think with good creative, they can make it as singles because they're both over. They're both over individually. To me, this is not like the Street Profits breaking up, where one's clearly going to be a star and the other one's just going to be out the door at the end of the day. I think they both have a path they could make it. I think Bowens can make a fantastic babyface and Caster will make a great heel. But I need creative to tell me a story to help me get me interested in them as singles. I don't think it's just going to fall into place.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like breaking them up is just a bad move. I think giving them a little bit of a tweak in character and the way you present them, I think could go a long way. I don't know why you would need to break them up. Like, you have so many people on your roster you are not using right now. You're going to break up the Acclaim, then have them do what if they feud with each other? They'll probably be regretting the decision and then quickly put them back together and pretend like the breakup never fucking happened.
That's what they would do. That's what creative does. They'll break them up.
Yep.
And then next week they'll be in a tag match for the tag titles with no explanation.
Yeah. I don't trust that at all. Don't break them up. Put them together as a heel faction possibly, or a heel duo, or give them a little bit of an edge like the Street Profits are undergoing right now. You know, they were all fun loving and goofy, and they got the solo cups. Now they're fucking like, listen, bro, enough of the fucking fun and games. Tag team championships. That's our mission. Harder edge, not taking shit from anybody, harder raps from Caster, more deadly raps, like fucking be visceral with your words. Something, man. I mean, break them up. Why? I mean, that's just a disaster waiting to happen.
I agree. I don't think it would work. I mean, I think they see something short-sighted, like a feud between the two of them. But after that, now what?
Yeah, nothing.
Now what? I mean, it's not gonna be good for the Acclaim, man. Just keep them together. Turn them both heel. Just turn them both heel. They started off as heels. They were actually pretty good.
MJF. Good to see MJF back on television. He went one-on-one with Roderick Strong, not Adam Cole. Adam Cole did not beat Konosuke Takeshita. He did not get his third win. Roddy beat Lance Archer. He got in. Adam Cole did not. Nobody really asked for this match. Nobody was interested in this match, but I see why they did this match, and I predicted on the WrestleDream post with this guy that they're probably going to wait till not Full Gear. They're probably going to wait till World's End. I said, let's do something in the meantime to get us through Full Gear and then do Adam Cole and MJF at World's End, because that's where everything kind of went down, and Adam Cole fucked over MJF on Long Island last year, and that's exactly where they're going with this. As far as this match is concerned, MJF got typical MJF heat. He looked good. It looked like he didn't miss a beat in the ring. He was out for 4 or 5 weeks. Good on him. Getting him back on television weekly is going to tell a lot better of a story than him just cutting the same fucking promo every week and him drinking wine. So it's good to get him back on the microphone and back on TV weekly. Roddy, you know, to me, he's a great wrestler. I don't know what you guys think. He is a tremendous professional wrestler. Does he have charisma? Is he vanilla? You know, he's got no charisma and he's very vanilla.
I don't agree.
You think he's got charisma?
I think he does. We've seen it. It's just, again, this is gonna come back to creative. We've seen Roddy when he's at his best as far as gimmick goes. I mean, he's got like the name shouting thing going on, but that was never the best of his heel work. I think we got the best of it in NXT though, I believe. But he's better when these guys are a trio. The guy can work. He's probably the best worker out of all three of them, to be honest. And I love Adam Cole. I mean, to be straight up with you, I mean, Roderick Strong is fantastic in the ring.
I would say Roddy's a better wrestler than Adam Cole. Yeah.
I mean, he is. He's fucking great, man.
Yeah.
And when he's a heel and he's being a dick, I think he's really good. Remember when with the Undisputed Era, dude? I mean, he was a fantastic heel.
Yeah, but he didn't really speak, and he didn't need to speak because Adam Cole's a great promo.
Yeah. I mean, he's not gonna be your main event or your main event heel or something like that. I mean, but I think he deserves to be in a tag team or in a trios, you know, with Kyle and everything else. He's a fantastic heel. He's perfectly fine. Maybe they're just trying to do too much. I don't know, but this is a simple fucking thing. Roderick, Kyle, and Adam Cole as heels in a trios. Make them tag team when you need them, or put them in a trios team. This is easy. It feels like they're just making it harder on themselves. Sometimes things just fall into place. You finally have these three guys healthy in the company, and now you're playing this thing now where we don't know what's going on with them. People are changing from heel to face with no explanation. Nothing is really falling into place or making sense. It's not supposed to be this hard. We just want these three guys together whooping some ass around the company. Is that so much to ask for?
I don't know. He's a good hand. I just don't think he's a good promo. I don't think he's good on the mic. I think he's a little vanilla-ish. So that's just the way I feel about Roddy. This match was good. I would say
his wife is more over than him right now.
Probably, yeah. I would say this match was good, but I'm going to be honest with you. This did not feel like a MJF pay-per-view match. I am kind of bothered that MJF has settled into this fucking middle-of-the-road garbage when this is legitimately the ace of your fucking company.
Yep.
He feels MJF is a fucking... He's going to be a future Hall of Famer. He is a main event guy, and he should be in main event level matches and feuds and stories. This feels so middle of the road and so unimportant. I actually quite hate it that we have to see him so early in the show and kind of easily forgotten about by the time we get to the end of the show. Are you bothered by that at all?
Yes. This kind of feels like it's a situation where you either have MJF all the way or don't have him at all. And they clearly did not have him all the way. They couldn't get him on a TV show during the build. They just pop him up at the pay-per-view, give him a mic for 30 seconds, have him run down, New Jersey. Isn't he live in New Jersey?
No, he lives on Long Island.
Oh, that's New York. Same goddamn thing.
He says he's from Plainview. I can't see anybody living in Plainview right now. He probably lives on Oyster Bay, Manhasset, fucking Port Washington. It's somewhere ritzy with a fucking $6 million house off the fucking water, man.
Nonetheless, they
Fucking
got him
ridiculous.
out there. We haven't seen this guy in months. This is his big return.
MJF lives in Newark, bro. Where's he living?
Yeah. It feels like a wasted return. We haven't seen the guy on TV in quite some time. How about when we bring him back, we make a bigger splash than he's at the pay-per-view, he gets a mic for about 30 seconds, then has a match and wins. This is the first fucking MJF match where I just didn't give a shit about. I love MJF, and as you just heard me earlier, I love Roderick Strong. But they had a match at a pay-per-view that I didn't give a shit about. Now, who's to blame to that?
It's not MJF.
Not MJF. Not Roderick Strong. Once again, back to fucking creative. We didn't need MJF back for this. How about we wait until we have him full-time, make a surprise return, insert him into the feud he's going to be inserted into, change the game up entirely, as opposed to this half-in, half-out shit. We got MJF back. He won. I don't know if he's back. Is he going back to his movie set after this? Is he going to be on Dynamite next week? I don't know what's going on with him, but this return was fucking lackluster.
Yeah, the finish of this match came pretty quickly after I thought the match was going to continue. And we got Adam Cole out there. Kyle O'Reilly was out there. The Kingdom was out there with Roddy. There was a post-match attack by MJF on Roddy's arm. He Pillmanized his arm. And MJF escaped through the crowd. So all of this led to Strong in a Texas Cloverleaf, or he had the Texas Cloverleaf rather on MJF. MJF got the rope break. Both got up. Strong fired off an end of heartache. but a foot was on the rope, and MJF broke the count. He bailed to the outside, back inside. MJF counted the end of Heartache into a roll-up. Strong hit a torture rack backbreaker, fireman's carry, gut buster, sick kick. He went for another end of Heartache. MJF turned it into a brain buster, and both guys were double down. So Strong draped an arm over for a 2 count, and then MJF spun into Salt of the Earth very quickly, very abruptly, and a very quick submission as Roddy tapped out. Post-match, MJF brought in a chair. He Pillmanized the arm of Strong until Adam Cole, Mike Bennett, and Matt Taven sprinted out to the ring, but it was too late because MJF did the deed and escaped pretty quickly into the crowd. Kyle O'Reilly was out there. He came out to check on his friends, and he shoved Adam Cole down, screaming that Cole was too late, and he did have a point. Adam Cole was out there too late, man. You knew when the match was over and MJF was brewing around on the outside that bad things were going to happen. Adam Cole, he had out his theme music playing. He ran out late after everything went down with Adam Cole. And
I said that during my live stream, man.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, up. He's going to get a chair. Here he comes. Watch.
Where is he?
All about
Where
the
is he?
boom.
There he is. The theme music hits.
Yeah. He put the chair under his arm. He's like, oh, here we go. He went around and, sashayed, and here we go. We're about to do it. Here comes that music. And then he smashed it. I'm like, oh, shit. Well, I guess Cole's not here tonight, man. And then it's all about the boom. I'm like, what were you doing this whole time?
Where was he? Was he backstage playing Super Mario RPG on Switch? What was he doing?
What was he doing? Why is Kyle mad? Where was he?
Kyle shoved Cole down, screaming at Cole. O'Reilly helped Strong up to the back as Taven and Bennett left with Adam Cole, and Adam Cole looked very distraught over what Kyle O'Reilly did to him in the middle of the ring in front of everybody. Where are we going with this? I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. And this match was a TV. This match was a collision. 9 o'clock, top of the hour collision match on a Saturday night. It did not need to be on pay-per-view. How about that? We are sitting here claiming that an MJF match, who's the ace of this fucking place, an MJF match we did not give a shit about because of the fucking shit story that's being told, and the fact that this match should have taken place on Collision and not pay-per-view. Yeah. And you don't find this to be a problem. What was MJF doing at Full Gear last year? Wasn't he wrestling Jay White for the AEW title?
Probably. I'm sure he's in something much more important than this.
Give me a break. Went from Jay White in the main event of Full Gear last year to wrestling Roddy second match in on fucking this year's Full Gear. Where the fuck did we go wrong there, bro?
It would have been, it actually would have been more beneficial to the company to keep MJF off of this card since he was unavailable to participate in the build. Simple.
Yeah.
Bring him back when you have him back. This was a complete waste of his return. It was unnecessary. The match wasn't important. It was clearly not important to you by its placement on the card. No one cared about it. Just have him come back when he's ready to be back full time. Why would you bring him back in this fashion? I don't understand this return at all, man.
I don't know, man. Mercedes, Kris Statlander, TBS Championship. There was a segment that aired before the show where Mercedes told Camille to stay in the back, and Mercedes was very nasty to Camille. Once again, Camille was being treated like a secondhand bitch, and she was treated like a castaway. So the breakup of Mercedes and Camille after 3 months is imminent. So they dropped the ball on that one. I had a fan reach out to me. Apparently, GCW was in the American Dream Mall on Sunday in New Jersey, off the New Jersey Turnpike. I think it's right across the street or right across the way from MetLife Stadium. And they had an event there right in the mall, which is pretty cool. And this fan of mine who listens to the show tweeted me a picture of him and Megan Bain. And he said, JD, I spoke to Megan Bain today, and he took a picture with Megan Bain. And he said that she is AEW. Now, I don't know if this was mentioned. I don't know. I don't know who to believe after the last fiasco with the fucking sign being taken away in fucking wherever they were a couple of weeks ago. And then I got blasted by fucking Security Sam on social media about it. How the fuck am I supposed to know? I don't know if this is true or not, but this is what the fan told me. Again, we wouldn't be surprised to see Megan Bayne in AEW because that's where the rumors were going. But if she has any part in this, man, I would stay very far away after what we've seen from Camille in AEW, man. Hopefully she gets ID'd and she is on the WWE radar and not on Tony Khan's radar whatsoever.
You know, it's unfortunate that I agree with that, man. I mean, just looking at how they're treating Deonna Purrazzo. I mean, you brought her in with high praise, and look where she is right now. And
look at how they're treating Deonna, Jamie Hayter, Thunder Rosa, Camille. Who else? Are we missing anybody? Saraya. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ.
I just got my first exposure to Megan Bayne at House of Glory with you and Jason.
Yeah.
And I was blown away. I went to you guys right away and said, how come she is not picked up? She is incredible.
She's great.
She's great. She's really good. Now, that being said, Deonna Purrazzo is levels above Megan Bayne as far as notoriety and ring work and things like that. Megan Bayne is great. Deonna Purrazzo is better, and look what they're doing to her. I wouldn't, man. I feel kind of bad now, man. Why would I expect anything better for Megan Bayne when everything else has been dropped that preceded her?
I don't trust this creative, and I would stay very, very far away. This match had zero story coming into it. Zero. Mercedes, we ranted about Mercedes on Wednesday. We feel the way that we do. Yet at the end of all of it, I am still a Mercedes Mone fan. I'm a Mercedes Varnado fan. I think she's a great pro wrestler, as does Jesse. He thinks that she's a great pro wrestler. We never said anything about what she does as far as in-ring work. When she works, she is great. Now, the character, and you compare it to what she did with Sasha Banks in WWE, there's a huge disconnect there. There's a reason why she's not getting over. Some of it may be character work. Some of it may be the theme music. Some of it may be her presentation. Some of it may be her creative, that she books her own creative or has creative control. Who the fuck knows if that's true or not? It's not hitting in AEW. She's not going to tell you that it's not hitting because she's making God knows how much money to work AEW, but it certainly comes off as she doesn't care. She was brought in with a lot of fanfare. She was brought in with promise of change. She was brought in with promise of a revolution, a new revolution, right? Women's evolution. None of this has happened. So now we as fans are left asking, well, what happened to all those promises 8 years ago, or eight months ago, rather? Where's all that? We're not seeing it. We're not feeling it. So we, as a fan base, are going to start asking very hard-hitting questions. Where is it? Now, with that said, Jesse, I think you and I both know that Mercedes is a great wrestler. Kris Statlander is a great pro wrestler. This was a great wrestling match. So much so that in the beginning of this show tonight, this was probably Stat's second best match, maybe ever. And this was Mercedes' best match in all of AEW so far. I would put it above the Willow match, and I would put it over the Stephanie Vaquer match at Forbidden Door. This was a great women's wrestling match tonight. But, man, if the story was there and they told any semblance of a story, how much better would this match have been, man? We would have been talking about best women's match of the year for AEW.
Yeah, exactly. This falls into the comparison I made about, Punk and Cena with the story versus the match that we got. A fantastic story along with this match that the women gave us. I mean, this would have been, match of the night. This would have taken away from Ospreay and Fletcher. If compelling story went along with what they gave us, put it like this. I came into this match not expecting anything. Why? Because I didn't care what was going on with it. I'm still trying to figure out why Kris Statlander just abruptly dropped Stokely and turned babyface. Don't know why. Mercedes has been ice cold. This thing with Camille, it's going nowhere. I don't understand any of it. I expected this match to flop. But because these two women are really good at what they do when that bell rings and the amazing chemistry they had tonight, they gave us a fucking banger, which is what should be happening. But I was expecting the worst because the creative was so bad. Shout out to them for going out there and busting their asses and killing it, man.
Yeah, this was a great match. No matter what you think of Mercedes up until this point in AEW, this was a great match. And if you don't think it was, then you're a complete idiot because obviously you didn't watch the match, you didn't watch the show, and you're just saying bullshit for the sake of saying bullshit because you are for the Fed. And I will not stand for any Mercedes in-ring slander tonight because this was a great match. I'm not going to go over the entire thing, but man, did they really wrestle each other? And it was a hard-hitting match. There was a sequence here. And there was a snap power slam from Stat. Hits a series of corner charges until we got a chaos theory that folded Mone over for a 2. Mone got a foot on the rope to break the pinfall. Statlander tried pulling Mone up. Momentum saw Mone leap up and turn it into a crucifix bomb. Statement Maker was locked in. Statlander powered out. Mone hit a backstabber. She went for a cover, got a near fall. Mone with a Meteora. And that was a damn good looking one for Meteora because she came off the ropes like she usually does, second rope, and she kind of folded over Stat in a pin in the same sequence. So that was a very good move there. Statlander caught a charging Mone with a discus lariat, and she followed with a twisting fireman's carry for a 2 count. Statlander wanted Saturday Night Fever, but Mone swung through and hit a spiked DDT. 3 amigos from Mone. She went up for the frog splash. Leapt into the clutches of Statlander, who hit an F5 for a 2 count. Statlander wanted a 450. Nobody was home. She missed. Mone targeted the bad right knee, which was being sold by Stat in the match. She goes up top, does Mercedes, hits a frog splash onto the bad leg. Multiple backstabbers led to a Mone Maker, which looked great. She finally nailed it decently. And Stat was alive. Mercedes only got a 2. So I was actually surprised. And I'm like, I wonder if they're going to take the title off Mercedes with that. She kicked out of the finish. So both ladies, they were going for quick pin attempts here, leaving Statlander to power up, wanting Saturday Night Fever. But Mone literally bit her leg in Saturday Night Fever, swung Statlander into the ropes, choking her out, and got a roll-up for the 1, 2, 3 off the bounce back on the rope. So that's the way the match ended. And Mercedes retains the TBS title. And I thought this was a great match. Now, no Camille. So, for all the people looking at this optically, if Mercedes doesn't need Camille to win a match, then why are we going to look at Camille with Mercedes on Wednesday? Just get rid of her. Just dump the baggage. You don't need it. You don't need Camille anymore and stop embarrassing her on TV because her stock, I don't know how it could get any lower. I don't know where Mercedes goes from here. A lot of people were like, Stat should have won, Stat should have won. Listen, Mercedes is not losing that title to All In. I guarantee you. I pray to God. I'm leaving this up to the fucking gods who hear me right now at fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. Mercedes is not losing the title until at least All In. This is my prediction, bold prediction. I think we get Athena, who's from Houston, against Mercedes, and I think Athena is going to be the new TBS champion in Texas at All in July. I think that's hopefully the plan. She cannot hold that Ring of Honor women's title for the duration of 2025. I mean, that's just ridiculous. We got to get her on the main roster immediately and get her in a major program. Stat is not winning the championship. She's not winning anything. I feel bad for her because she was in a really good spot as a heel. They ruined that. They had a great story going with Willow. They ruined that. Stokely, not a fucking single peep from him. He hasn't been on TV. I don't know what the fuck happened there. Stat is, for lack of a better term, Jesse, I don't want to say it, but she lost to Mercedes. Where the fuck does she go from here, man? Because she feels like a fucking loser. Honestly.
I don't know what they do with her. But take a shot for every time Mercedes hit double knees or tried to go for double knees tonight.
She loves that move.
I mean, she was spamming it, man. That's just not normal for a wrestling match. And keep in mind, this was a great wrestling match too. And so that means it just could have been better. She was spamming. I tweeted about it. She kept hitting double knees, double knees, double knees, double knees. Jeez Louise, bro. Where does Stat go from here, bro? Man, I don't know. And I think we talked about this before where we said they kind of booked themselves into a corner here because I'm pretty confident they're not ready to take the title off of Mercedes. I mean, the one thing that would have saved some grace here is if they did take the title off of Mercedes and cost Mercedes the title due to Camille coming in and helping because she got so pissed off at Mercedes treating her like shit. That would have made some sense. but they weren't going to take the title off of Mercedes. I'm shocked that you give them the benefit of the doubt of getting us to All In with Athena, with Mercedes still being champion. That is some long-term booking, brother, and I don't think it's going to get that far.
Yeah, I'm probably just, I'm wishing on a hope and a prayer with that one. That's the way I would do it. I don't know if that's the plan. I'm just throwing that out there because I think we need as much as we can on the main side of things for the women's division. You know, I don't know where Mercedes goes. I mean, it seems like she's beaten everybody. I don't know who gets another shot at that TBS title. She's basically run through everybody. You could see what's going on with the women's division and the women's title. Mariah and Mina is the next match. That's probably happening at World's End after what we got tonight. They're probably going to bring back Tony and have Tony Storm win the championship in Australia at Grand Slam from Mariah May. I don't know. I really don't. Julia Hart, maybe. I don't know. Like Kris Statlander to Julia Hart to maybe Jamie Hayter. I mean, I don't see any of these women beating Mercedes. I don't.
Yeah, bro. Jamie Hayter is buried.
Yeah.
All right. She is not going to win that title anytime soon. They brought her back on the pre-show. They've hit her on Collision. She's doing nothing but looking like a 70s sitcom star. Jamie Hayter is done for. I'm convinced they lost all confidence in Jamie Hayter. I'm convinced they lost all confidence in Britt Baker. Britt Baker comes out looking like a jobber now. When they used to give her pyro, made it a big deal and everything else. She is just out there. I don't think those women who used to be the top of the locker room, I don't think they're up there anymore. I think there's been a complete shift in Tony Khan's eyes. He is not pumping out DMD or Jamie Hayter like he was a year ago.
No. Yeah, Julia Hart and Mercedes is probably the next program. I could see that. I could see that being the case because Julia had a little... early on in Mercedes' run, she was involved with Sky Blue and Julia Hart, so I could see that being the case going
Julia's
into...
about to come back and beat Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, I could see that being the case going into World's End. Yeah.
Yep.
Switchblade Jay White and Adam Page. One-on-one grudge match here. Both guys hate each other. Both guys want bragging rights because they want the AEW World title. Go figure, man. Holy shit. I enjoyed their match at WrestleDream. I thought it was great. I thought this one was a little bit better than what we got at WrestleDream. I thought the crowd was better over there in Seattle for WrestleDream. But regardless, Adam Page and Jay White, two of the very best that AEW has to offer. They should be on TV a little bit more often. And they are two studs. Love both of these guys. So the match was coming on in the leg for Adam Page. This match not only was Page's leg, but now Jay White's ankle. So they both had a target on each other. There was a situation here in the middle of the match where there were wild lariats, and they echoed throughout the Prudential Center because the crowd was so they were afraid to make noise tonight. So Jay White managed a flatliner and a snap suplex. Page stumbled up, got a desperation pop-up powerbomb. Both guys are down. Page wanted Deadeye on the apron. White escaped into a half-and-half folding up Page on his neck. White followed with another one on the floor towards the ramp, and instead of taking a count out, he told Paul Turner to stop the count and come with me, he said. So this delay to allow Page to recover enough to throw White into the barricade after White's ankle gave out on a suplex. His ankle was trapped in between the barricade, and Page booted it and applied an ankle lock. Ref put the count on both guys. Jay White crawled to ringside, still in the submission, which was ridiculous. He was crawling towards the ring as the ankle lock was still applied. Page broke it at a 9 and made it in at a 9, and so did Jay White. So we finish up here. Page measured White for a buckshot, flipped into a flatliner, only to counter into another ankle lock. So we got a big Uranage from Jay White, 2 count. He went for a Blade Runner. Page again went for the ankle lock, which White countered this time into a figure 4. Page got the ropes, crawled to the corner, and White was there with a dragon screw leg whip. So Page skinned the cat, tried buckshot. White nearly countered into a Blade Runner. Page with the ankle lock again. This time White rolled through. got up and caught Page into a Blade Runner for the 1-2-3 out of nowhere. White smiled, and he reminded Adam Page that he now has 5 wins over him, with the 1 win Page had being pretty lame, as Jay White has 5 over his 1. I don't, Jesse, listen, I'm not going to sit here and complain that Jay White won a match or won a feud, quote unquote, with Adam Page, but what bothers me, and I know a lot of people feel the same way that I do, the unimportant feeling that Adam Page has coming out of All Out, where he burned Swerve's childhood home down. He basically committed murder inside a steel cage, unsanctioned lights out steel cage match where we saw anything and everything happen. After that situation, he became the most dangerous man in all of AEW, bar none. He should have been on his way to the World Championship after he dispatched the former AEW World Champion. Instead, he gets into a fucking feud with Jeff Jarrett. He's floating in the middle of nowhere. He gets into a feud with Jay White because Jay White needs a solid opponent upon coming back from return after 4 months of injury. And here, Adam Page has not won anything at all, substantially, since All Out. And that happened in the beginning of September. Now, Jay White needs a win, but so does Adam Page. But here we are, and me and Jason said the same thing on Tuesday Night Titans, TNT on Tuesday. Adam Page should be at least vying for, or should be, worst case scenario, the AEW World Champion right now. And he's not. And there's no sign that he's going to get back to being the AEW World Champion. What the fuck are we doing here, bro? Why is Adam Page not winning matches? He's not bulletproof like everybody thinks he is, and perception is everything, and a lot of people are starting to ask these same questions. Why is Adam Page creatively not where he needs to be?
I don't know, but I can tell you now, he has completely lost that momentum that he had when they were building him up.
Yeah.
This is the same problem that they had with Wardlow when they had Wardlow just flaming hot. I mean, just white fucking hot. And then they gave him a loss. Okay, whatever. Then another one. And then they just misbooked him here. And then now all of a sudden, no one gives a shit about him. This is the path they're heading down with Hangman now. They spent all this energy building him up to where he was. And now for just some inexplicable reason, he now has 2 L's in a row. And then here he comes out in the fucking main event. What the fuck is going on? He comes out in the main event followed by the guy that just beat him. And then he seemingly turned babyface when he came out. I'm so fucking confused. I have no idea what's going on with Hangman anymore.
I don't know. I'm genuinely just kind of confused over his creative. Like, he should be the AEW World Champion right now. Genuinely. And here he is. He beat Swerve, and both him and Swerve right now are probably as low as they've been all year. It's unbelievable. No, but I'm the problem.
Yep.
Jesse's the problem.
We are the issue.
Give me a break.
Not what they're doing. Us not liking what they're doing is the problem. If we just like it more, then it'll be a better show. Is that what they think? If we just like it, then it'll be a great show.
Post-match, White celebrated on the ramp. He turned his back. Page ran after him, laid him out. Christopher Daniels came out. Officials came out to stop Page, but Page dropped Daniels with a right hand. Both White and Daniels were helped to the back as Page stormed off the stage. You know, I had someone tell me on social media, well, maybe this is leading to him being more evil. What? This guy burned a fucking house down and shot a needle in the former world champion's mouth while beating said former world champion. He also smashed his face on a fucking brick inside a steel cage. I don't know how much more evil you want him to get. You think him losing to Jay White in a regular one-on-one match is going to make Adam Page snap more than what he did against Swerve? Swerve broke into his house and broke into his child's bedroom. What the fuck are you talking about, man? How is this leading to anything substantial for Adam Page?
It's taken away from everything that they put into him
Yeah.
in the last few months.
Yeah, everything that you saw. I mean, this guy was the most captivating. He was the most brilliant character that they had on TV outside of MJF and Will Ospreay doing the fucking Mr. America and hometown hero in the United Kingdom thing. That was it. That was Adam Page was fucking great. They brought him back for Blood and Guts. He had finally gotten face to face with Swerve. This guy didn't mention Swerve. This guy owned the show. A badass. Nothing bothered him. He fucking plowed through everybody. Now he can't beat Jay White. Jay White's a great pro wrestler. Don't get me wrong. One of the best in the world. But you can't... I absolutely thought that Jay White was losing this match and we were going to go 1-1 and then maybe they settled their differences in the Continental Classic. No? Like, come on, man. The Adam Page slander is just ridiculous. Completely fucked him up. Completely have just stalled his momentum. I don't get it.
It's hard to care. I think the problem is here, this push, stop, go, pull back booking. It's hard to care. So when you decide that these 2 losses were enough or too many, and you decide to re-push, Page again, I've already stopped caring because you started pushing him and then you made him lose. So you're gonna make him win again, and now I'm supposed to care again. Then you're gonna make him lose. The wins and losses matter. They don't all have to be wins for you to be over. But if you're gonna come with losses, they need to be a part of your story. So explain to me why and how that Adam Page losing is a part of his story arc. It's not gonna make any sense because the story arc that you had him on, where he was a legit killer, made sense with the way that you were booking him and the things you were having him do. Now he's losing. Now he's lost twice in a row. So how is that going to lead into what you've told us, what kind of a badass he was? How is that going to play into it? It's not. So why do I care now?
Yeah, it's pretty shitty. I don't know. I don't get it. Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay, probably the match of the night. Definitely match of the night. This was the one match that had some real substance to it as far as a story. And it really showed in this match, and the one match that everybody was really kind of hot for. And a common theme through most of this. The crowd was pretty much dead and quiet for the opening tag team match. The crowd was quiet for the Mercedes Statlander match up until the last 3 or 4 minutes. Crowd was kind of okay for the Roddy and MJF match. Not really where you need the crowd to be, especially with the type of heat that MJF gets. And then this match completely blew everything out of the water, and the crowd actually woke up during this match because this was absolutely fantastic. Everybody knew this was going to be a show stealer. This went above and beyond being a show stealer. This was fucking great. Now, a lot of people were like, oh, Ospreay's going to win. Ospreay needs to win. Jason Solomonster said on TNT that he's going with Ospreay. I'm like, I don't know, man. I think Kyle Fletcher needs this win a little bit more. Ospreay's a little bulletproof. He could take a loss, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ospreay puts over his good buddy here and gives him the star-making treatment. And, Jesse, that's exactly what happened here. Fletcher needed this win so much because you could see the transformation that they've made with Kyle Fletcher. He's basically, he looks like a different person. He cut his hair. He's got a new outfit. He's got a new nickname. He's got a theme song. He's got Don Callis. I mean, they're really making him into basically a mini Don Callis, if you really want to think about it. That's exactly where they're going with him. He looks the part for as the crown jewel, the king of the Don Callis family. Star-making performance tonight, man. He showed it in the ring. He's done great work over the last several months. Ospreay put him over. He needed this badly, man, and I'll stop there because we'll talk about what happens after this. But as far as tonight goes, they are on the right track and they made the right decision.
It was. This could not have been booked any better. Not only did he need to beat Will Ospreay, he needed to beat Will Ospreay at his best. All right, and Ospreay gave him the business. You know, he hit him with everything. He looked great out there. He, you know, did all this typical shit, and Kyle kept up with it and pulled out a clean win. I think it was perfect. I think it was absolutely perfect. This is the one thing that they actually booked to perfection.
This was booked very well. and I will give them credit. See, it's not all negative. This was very, very good, and the right outcome happened here in this match. It was crazy. This match was crazy. I'm not going to go over it all because I do these matches absolutely no justice. If you guys want to go back and watch this, this is the one thing that you should absolutely go back and watch on this show. There was a spot, and I'll pick it up from this because this is where things really got ridiculous. They tried a spot where Ospreay was cut off from skinning the cat, and they were going to turn it into a tombstone on the outside. They stumbled briefly until ultimately hitting the move, and this move happened on steel steps. Now, he tombstoned Will Ospreay on steel steps. Now, I don't know why that move is happening. I don't know why you risk Kyle Fletcher's knees in that spot. I don't know why you risk Will Ospreay's head and shoulders in that spot. I don't like seeing that type of shit. Plus, you do something like that, the match should immediately be over after that type of move. The match continued. So, Fletcher...
Well, let me pause you. So, the spot did happen. I was a fan of it. I thought it was a fantastic spot. I thought it was the kind of spot that you would save for a pay-per-view, you know, in a big moment, make it a big deal. And there was a lot of downtime on the outside. It happened on the outside. They were both tired. They had to get them back in the ring. And there's a lot of time that passed between that spot and the pin attempt. And I think that was the reason why there was a lot of time between. But this is the kind of move that I would say, and he had knee pads on, did Fletcher. So
Yeah.
This is the kind of move I would say, don't do this on a random TV show. Save it for a big spot on the pay-per-view. I think this was the spot to do it in. I think these two guys know each other well enough and trust each other well enough to pull a big spot like that off without anyone getting hurt. So I didn't mind it as much.
Yeah, so he wanted a Stormbreaker off the apron. Fletcher floated over, hit a tombstone off the apron onto the steps in a wild spot. Holy shit chants obviously rang out through the Prudential Center. Fletcher told Ospreay he refuses to win via countout, so he wants to show that he's better than him as they go back inside where Fletcher hits a charging leg lariat, another reverse tombstone. He calls it the Grimstone for 2. Kicks out. I don't know how Ospreay's still alive, but he is. Move was great looking. So we go from that to Fletcher. He wants whatever he's planning next, but Ospreay rolled into a pin attempt for 2. Ospreay threw Hidden Blade, but there was nothing behind it because he did sell the effects of the punishment prior from Kyle Fletcher. He collapsed. Fletcher was just eating these shots. Ospreay had nothing behind these shots to Fletcher, so Fletcher was no selling. Lariat folded up Ospreay before a big haluva-like kick led into a brain buster on the top rope, and Kyle Fletcher got the victory over Will Ospreay. You saw a lot of the typical stuff here. Some high offense from Ospreay. We got a Spanish fly, standing Spanish fly, you know, hidden blades, big clotheslines. It was a great match. And they did all the typical Will Ospreay stunts that you come to love from Will Ospreay. He is Mr. Pay-Per-View. The energy was there. Fletcher was over big time, being in the ring with Ospreay. And him getting the win, you know, a lot of people are going to kind of groan and moan, how could he beat Will Ospreay? How could he do this? How could he do that? This is exactly what was needed. So I don't want to hear anything about Kyle Fletcher. Oh, I don't believe they beat Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, blah, blah, blah. They need to start somewhere. And I'm going to give them tonight as a good creative move. Now, my question is, do you trust where they go with this? Because it's all in the follow-up. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. It's all in the follow-up. Do we trust Tony Khan and Creative to take Kyle Fletcher, who just beat probably their next world champion, and do anything with him in 2025? Where does he go from here? TNT title, TBS title, international title, with fucking this title, whatever title. Does he go into the Continental Classic? Does he have a great showing in the Continental Classic? Where does he go from here, Jesse? Because clearly, if he beats Ospreay, I would think that they're all in on building Kyle Fletcher up as the legit next big thing in AEW. I just don't trust him.
It probably won't be their last match. I don't know if they're going to have Kyle Fletcher win the feud. So,
but he won clean.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, sure. But I still don't think that they're going to have Ospreay lose the feud. I think they'll have another match. I know he won clean. I know. I get it. I think they'll have another match. and he'll probably get his win back at some point. But I think it was important that Kyle at least won the first one. But I don't think they're done with each other. I don't think this is a one and done. I think they're going to run it back at some point, though.
Post-match, Fletcher stood over Ospreay, who was laid out. Mark Davis came out to the ring to look over Ospreay. Fletcher says they deserve each other, as Callis had the crown that Kyle Fletcher came out wearing in the beginning of the match, saying, in order to become a king, you have to kill a king. And this was Fletcher's shining moment as a singles star. It was. Mark Davis, I don't know where we go. Like Jesse said, do we get another match? Does Ospreay beat Fletcher in the second match and we even things out? Do we get Kyle Fletcher joining Mark Davis again? Because I think that's a fucking awful idea. I think after everything that you put into Kyle Fletcher, to put him back in Aussie Open and team him up with Mark Davis, that is ass backwards creative. That does not make a lick of sense whatsoever. So I think Davis is shit out of luck here.
Yeah, I think inserting Davis into this it feels like they're shoehorning him in.
Yeah,
and he doesn't really. I mean, he's just not fitting in here. I understand where he has the connection with the two guys. I get it, but he is just not on the level of Fletcher and Ospreay right now.
No. Great match. I urge you guys to go back and rewatch that one, or watch it if you want to tune into what we are talking about here. This is the match to go back and watch. Mariah May and Mina. Oh, my goodness, man. My favorite parts of the show. Mina Shirakawa, AEW Women's Title Champagne Celebration. Shirakawa made her entrance. Nigel was very, very happy to see both of these ladies out there. We have Shirakawa introducing Mariah, who has a black eye, because I'm assuming whatever she was in last gave her a black eye. Who'd she wrestle? Anna Jay?
Anna Jay.
Okay. So she had a nice black eye. AEW Women's Title was set up on a podium, and May said that there's not a single woman alive who can touch her. May also said that she couldn't have done this without Mina, as the two toasted champagne, and Shirakawa said May is going to have a long reign. May said it's time to celebrate, as the two started dancing. And Shirakawa was dancing around the stage, and Mariah May grabbed the champagne bottle and was setting up to blast Mina in the back of the head with the champagne bottle and knock her out. Mina turned around and saw what was happening. Mina kicked the bottle out of May's hands, which was a great spot because the bottle shattered into 1,000 pieces. And then all of a sudden, Mina screamed like Xena, Warrior Princess, and tackled Mariah off the stage, bouncing onto a table that did not break, sliding onto another table, and the table broke. And all of this became one big disaster because the spot looked fucking awful. The thing is, Mina got up. She was bleeding from her mouth. She started biting the head of Mariah with the bloody mouth of hers. And Mariah laid there unconscious as the segment came to a close before Mina was escorted away from the scene of the crime here. I thought this was awful.
Bro, for the sake of me on my stream, I'm trying to figure out, and here, I'll put your creative hat on, because I'm assuming that they're going to explain this on Wednesday. Explain to me, convince me that this made sense. Why exactly did Mariah May turn on Mina?
Mariah May knows that Mina was on excursion in Japan before she came back to AEW, and she was gallivanting around with Toni Storm in Japan.
Was that it? But Mina was always friends with both Toni and Mariah from day one. They were a trio type deal, and she stayed neutral in the beef. And if anything, she sided with Mariah May at the end of the day.
She did.
So I'm trying to figure out what exactly would tell Mariah May, I need to turn on this bitch right now. I mean, why exactly? It would have made sense.
Instead of staying with her in America, she was in Japan. Toni went over to Japan and wrestled a few matches over there, and they rendezvoused in Japan. And Mariah knows something, so they're going to bring that back to the States. And Mariah is now kind of in the know about what's happening, and she feels that Mina had turned her back on her. It's a very simple story to tell.
You think so?
Yeah.
Let's see what they do.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of anything logical to make me say, well, man, this makes sense. I can understand. Remember, the most important thing in being a heel is you believing that you are right in what you are doing. And logistically, I can't think of anything that she would have to turn on Mina. She threw her a goddamn celebration. She's had her back. She's never once strayed from her while they would have. I mean, she's friends with Toni Storm. She's been friends with both of them.
This will lead to Toni Storm coming back. I know she retired, quote unquote. She didn't really retire. It's all a part of her character and the way that she's going as far as her character development here with this current gimmick that she has as timeless Toni Storm. And we'll get Mina versus Mariah leading to World's End. Hopefully we get some answers on Wednesday or in the following weeks to come, maybe. Never know with this creative team. We'll get the title match at World's End in Florida. And then I do think that Toni will be back on TV at the turn of the new year, and we'll start building towards Grand Slam for Toni and Mariah, for Toni to get the title back. That's where I think it's going. I think Mariah May has had an awful title run. She has had an awful title run so far. Nothing about it has stood out. Nothing about it has been memorable, and they've been fucking clueless about the entire run.
We'll see. I want to see how they explain this one on Wednesday, because I can't wait. The whole time I'm looking at this, I'm watching the whole beatdown, and then she looks really bad for planning an attack and then coming up on the losing end of it. I mean, I can't wait to see why. I want to see what reason they give Mariah May for just out of the blue turning on her just like that.
I don't know. We'll see. I don't give these shows much credit, man. I'm not giving them that much leeway. Do they tell us a proper story here and give us a reason why? I mean, they have a very difficult time of giving us anything as far as a reason or why.
It would have completely made sense if Mina up and turned heel and just clocked Mariah May. She's a fucking champion.
But Mariah's a heel.
And Mariah's heel, though. And you don't want to turn Mariah babyface, because that is an easy epic L right there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't figure this one out.
I did not like this. I thought this was terrible. Did not like it at all. I thought the spot was sloppy. It did not go off the way that it needed, and it just looked embarrassingly bad.
Did you see Mina dancing in that dress?
I did. Mina is a lovely lady. She's very
terrible?
she's very attractive.
Terrible?
I rate it 2 out of 4.
Man, I don't know, man. I think it was the breast damn segment on the show. I don't know.
This is where the breast wrestle, man. You know.
This is where the breast wrestle, man. They went tit for tat.
They did. This was not as titillating as I wanted, though.
No. I mean, but you get the two of those right in the nipple. I mean, you gotta, separate them, man. So I don't know, man. We'll see.
Why are you being such a nasty old man, shot-out smart? Don't you talk about Mina and Mariah that way. I'm gonna ask her to marry me, and maybe I'll get to introduce her to Mom.
Don't tell Io. Don't tell Io.
Who? That's on the other show.
Oh, that's right.
Danny Garcia and Jack Perry for the TNT Championship. I thought this was fucking boring. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say, man. This felt honestly like a Rampage main event. If I'm being brutally honest with you, a Rampage main event. That's how lowly this match was.
It wasn't anywhere near the most exciting thing on the card. I feel like it was just there. I feel like it was a good transition match on the card, just to be like, hey, let's tone it down a little bit and come back. Here's a match. I don't think they did anything just offensively and egregious on the match. It was just there, and nobody really gave a shit about it. I think they just executed the match. It was fine. I'll get out of here.
Where do I even start here? The crowd was dead silent for both of these guys' entrances. They gave no reaction to Danny Garcia. A little minuscule pop when his theme music hit. Jack Perry came out wearing the goat head. Listen, man. Jack Perry I've praised Jack Perry through the 5 years of AEW quite often. This is not working for me, man. I don't know where we go from here. I don't. I think the scapegoat gimmick is a fucking fail. He needed to do something coming out of the whole Punk fiasco, and this was the best thing for him to turn it into what we see now. But I mean, is it working wonders? No, I don't really see it going anywhere. And Danny Garcia, I mean, God help my soul, man, for all the sickos that are going to come after me when I say this, because I said it on social media. I just don't get the hype around Danny Garcia. The guy is out there. He walks like he's fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin, dripping wet, 130 pounds. He thinks he's a badass. He's not. He gets no reaction. And he looks like he's got this generic T-shirt on. Restore the feeling. Like he's like an AEW walking advertisement. Restore what feeling? This guy looks like as generic of a creative character from WWE 2K24 Community Suite that I've ever seen. It's like you go into the community section and you churn out generic wrestler A with generic theme 34. That's what he looks like to me. I don't know what the whole big deal is about Danny Garcia, but the kid signed a new contract. Good for him. He's making some money. He opted to stay with AEW. I'm glad that they gave him some sort of creative, but I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Him winning the TNT Championship isn't the fucking, oh my God, groundbreaking creative that everybody seems to think it's going to be. Jack Perry had one of the worst title reigns for the TNT title of all time. I probably can think of maybe one or two that were worse. Sammy Guevara had a fucking terrible one. And who else was terrible with that TNT title? There was another one. But Jack Perry had a fail of a reign. And you think that Danny Garcia is going to be a good TNT champion? I mean, what is he going to do with the championship? The fucking open challenges happen every week. How good can the championship be if everything's a fucking open challenge? And the best part of it all is, get this, he said during the post-show media scrum, he's going to be in the Continental Classic as the TNT champion? So what does that mean? You're the TNT champion. You're going into a tournament where you are fighting for the Continental title. You're not going to win every match in the fucking tournament. So as TNT champion, you're going into a tournament and you're going to lose as a champion? I don't find that to be building the TNT title up to be meaningful in any way possible. So what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah. I have no idea. I don't know where they're going with Garcia as champion. I'm gonna with you now. What's the big hype around Garcia? The guy's incredible in the ring.
He's very good in the ring. He's a very good pro wrestler.
He's incredible in the ring. Unfortunately, I think that's where it starts and stops. Well, for him, he's not as good on the mic as he should be. If that makes any sense, I feel like he should be better, but he's not. I can see someone who's just not digging what he's doing right now. I could definitely see that. And he's not exciting to me either. Don't get me wrong. I'm not enjoying what Danny Garcia is doing. I do like Jack Perry though. I feel like Jack Perry is doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. I feel like the people that hate him and everything else, I feel like it's the right kind of heat for Jack Perry, if that makes any sense. I don't think he's lighting the world on fire. I don't think he's gonna, the future of the company type deal. I think he's in a nice little zone right now. I do think losing that title was a terrible thing for him. I don't think he should have lost it. I think he was fine. I think the gimmick played into it. They even gave him his own title. They changed the title for him and everything else. Where does he go now without that title? I'm not sure. And I don't know where Garcia goes with the title. So by default, that tells me that Jack Perry should have kept the damn title. You know what I'm saying? Could he have done more with it? Sure. Keep him as champion and do more with it. Absolutely, man.
Scorpio Sky, he was a TNT champion. That's the other guy I was thinking of. Yeah, Scorpio Sky. He had a terrible title run, too.
Where is he?
I don't know. Is he even still employed there?
I think so. Last I saw him, they had a promo or package for him, so he's going to come back and change things up and everything.
Imagine me and Tony Khan just throwing out money randomly to all these people he's not even fucking using, and better yet, probably don't even realize still work there.
Yeah, I didn't. I forgot about Scorpio.
It's unbelievable. This match was, this wasn't it, man. This was another TV title match on pay-per-view and had no reason, no business being on a pay-per-view. This had little to zero story. And after the kidnapping, the interrogation of Jack Perry on Wednesday night where Danny Garcia just got up and walked away after he hit the headlight, and Jack Perry said, ha, 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 is that it? And Danny Garcia gets up and walks away, and Daddy Magic says, well, where you going? And he just walks away. Yeah, I was pretty done after that ridiculous fucking segment. Give me a fucking break. Jack Perry and Danny Garcia for the TNT title. Crowd went mild for most of this up until the last 2 or 3 minutes when Garcia won the championship. And even then, it wasn't even a big reaction to him winning. So we'll pick it up from there. Garcia, he was on the defense here. So he started slowly firing up, getting Perry, with some offense here. Lariat took Perry's head off. He started to really build momentum. Garcia ran wild with charges, butterfly suplex in the corner. They both slugged it out in the corner until Perry landed a long dart on Garcia in the corner on the turnbuckle, and then hit a sit-out slam for 2. Perry then grabbed the TNT title all of a sudden and teased using it, but tossed it down to Garcia and dared him to use it instead. So for some reason, Garcia actually debated losing the championship match and getting DQ'd, but gave it back to Rick Knox. I don't know why. I don't really know what brought him to want to make that decision. So the distraction let Perry hit a low blow, charging knee. Garcia kicked out. Perry wanted another knee, but Garcia collapsed. Perry tried a third time. Garcia got a jackknife pin for a 2. Garcia then blocked the super kick, trapped the foot, nasty pile driver, 2 count. How many pile drivers did we see tonight? We saw about 3 or 4 pile drivers tonight. And
we saw a lot of pile drivers.
Kevin Owens hits 1 pile driver on Randy Orton, and the guy's got cervical contusions. It's unbelievable. The difference between one company and the other. They abuse something in one place, and then they treat it as a special deal in another. Go figure. So after the pile driver, both guys get up as if nothing happened. They start throwing slaps around. Garcia starts chopping Perry. Perry just smiled. Garcia, and I mean, he really laid into him. I thought it was like a never-ending fucking barrage of chops. Perry smiled. Garcia hit him with a pile driver again. Garcia sank in the Dragon Tamer, wrenched back after Perry failed to get to the ropes, and Garcia gets the tap out. Perry tapped out. He wins the TNT title. He wears an AEW flag around his neck, and he marches to the back with the TNT Championship. And the crowd goes mild.
Yeah.
Right.
Look, if you disliked the match and hated everything else, I could not argue with you. I completely understand why. I just felt like it was fine for where it was on the card and what it was meant to be. I don't think it was meant to be a high-profile match. And again, they didn't go out there and stink up the place. It just wasn't interesting. I can kind of understand.
No, it was a Rampage main event, or worse yet, a Collision main event on a Saturday night. It had no business being on pay-per-view.
Yeah, I can see that. It wasn't offensive to me. I didn't mind it as much. But then again, I mean, like I said, I like Jack Perry. I'm not enjoying what Daniel Garcia is doing, but I like Jack Perry. But I know that's a personal thing of mine, so I get it.
AEW championships have no identity. You know what I would do? I would merge the International Championship and the Continental Championship. And believe it or not, folks, you might find this to be funny. I would merge those 2 titles and make the AEW Intercontinental Championship. We don't need an Intercontinental Championship or Continental Championship. We don't need a Continental Championship and an International Championship. So I just merged the 2 and make an AEW Intercontinental title. That's what I would do. Why do we need 2 separate titles that both basically have the same fucking meaning? Why?
They have way too many titles in this company, man.
Yeah.
Way too many. As a matter of fact, who are the goddamn trios champions?
Death Riders. Wheeler Yuta, Pac, and Claudio.
Do they carry those titles anymore?
No, they may have just low-key buried them.
I don't even see them anymore. That's why I forgot who the damn champions were, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're worthless.
Jeez.
Absolutely worthless. Speaking of worthless, Konosuke Takeshita is the international champion. He defended that title tonight against Ricochet, the same Ricochet who says he wanted to showcase himself tonight and show the world that he could carry a company, man. Oh, my goodness. Ricochet, keep working, brother.
He said that right after he's told a fan to quote, suck my dick.
Wow, man. AEW wrestlers, man, once they're signed, the chains are off and they go out there and start flaming fans, man. That's exactly what they think of you, man. The fact that Ricochet told the fan of the product to suck his dick, this is what pro wrestlers think of their fan base.
Is that how you carry a company? Is that his definition of carrying a company?
I guess so.
I was just wondering.
I guess so. Ricochet and Konosuke Takeshita. Listen, I want to preface this by saying Konosuke Takeshita is a fucking phenomenal pro wrestler. He is great. Love his themes.
Been a fan of his since day one.
Yeah, I think he's great. I'm glad he's finally getting a push. I think him and Don Callis are a great pairing. Love his theme music as well. There's just something about it. It just fucking hits. It's a great theme. Then you got Ricochet. Love Ricochet. Called Ricochet matches within House of Glory. I think he's a phenomenal fucking guy. Ricochet gets in there. I've said this countless times when he was with the E. You put him in there, man, he sells his ass off. Everybody that's in a match with Ricochet is better off for it because Ricochet goes above and beyond to sell legitimately anything as the most devastating move that you could possibly ever see. He is so good at what he does. He's a fantastic seller, incredible athlete. There's nobody that does what Ricochet does. But AEW's got Will Ospreay, who does everything that Ricochet does, but better. And that's where the problem lies with this match. Tony Khan has too many wrestlers that do the same thing. And the problem with this match, because this was a match that a lot of people were looking forward to. And I blasted Tony Khan on social media for a dumb decision that he made. Jesse, correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't these guys in the opening match of Dynamite on Wednesday night in an 8-man tag, all-star 8-man tag team match?
Yes. Yep.
They were on Dynamite. They were the first guys you saw on Wednesday's flagship show. There wasn't one instance, and Jesse and I called this out on Wednesday night when we were live. There wasn't one moment, one instance, where Tony Khan fed to Excalibur to announce this match taking place on the pay-per-view. They waited, for whatever reason, to announce this match on Twitter the next day on social media instead of doing it on Dynamite. Now, I don't know why a decision like that was made, but clearly you think less of Konosuke Takeshita and Ricochet than the fucking Costco guys if they got such low billing and you had to announce their match on fucking Twitter instead of on your flagship show, yet you are gallivanting with the Costco guys on MSNBC and CNN and ESPN and Fox Sports Business and all these other places to sell this fucking nothing match that will be forgotten about tomorrow when everybody goes back to work. So I don't really understand why that match was announced on social media. The point I'm trying to make here is you got Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, who on the same show did basically everything that you wanted to see in that type of match. And then you give me Konosuke Takeshita and Ricochet. And what was the reaction from the crowd, Jesse, who basically had to sit through yet another match like Fletcher and Ospreay, but significantly less than? What was the reaction from New Jersey tonight? This, man, those are some loud fucking crickets, man. Holy shit. What are those? Are those cicadas over there?
No, real life crickets, bruh.
Okay. That's exactly what was New Jersey tonight, man. This was the most boring. This was the most lifeless. This was the most soulless Ricochet match I've ever seen. And the same could be said about Konosuke Takeshita. Now, the match itself wasn't bad, but legitimately everything that you saw in this match, we just saw from Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay with 1,000 times more energy. So I got to ask Tony Khan, why are we doing this match on the same show as Will Ospreay, and why is the match booked and produced the same way that they were? We saw one flip in one match. We saw the same flip in this match. We see the same clothesline in one match. We see the same clothesline in this match. It was basically the same match from both matches. You were better off not even putting it on the fucking pay-per-view and saving this shit for fucking Dynamite or Collision or wherever you want to do this fucking match. Why did you waste it? No, you needed to do it because you thought you were going to add some star power to the show and get some extra interest in the show because you knew there was none coming in. Yet you fucking sabotaged both of these fucking guys, and they both had a terrible match, which here we are again complaining and shitting on a Ricochet and Takeshita match, which is a fucking cardinal sin if you ask me. How do you fucking level these guys up to this point in AEW? And Ricochet came in with so much fanfare, Jesse, and now look at him, bro. It's like he ran through all of his lives already in fucking 2 months. I mean, the guy's is cold as ice. Tony Khan got his one match with Ricochet with Will Ospreay and now is bored with his new toy, and Ricochet doesn't really feel all that significant on TV. Why?
Well, if you had not run straight to Ricochet and Ospreay, you would still at least have that match in your back pocket to set up for us. But we've already seen it.
Already seen it.
Done.
There was no story going into it, no matter what you want to say. No story going into it. And this Takeshita match had no fucking story either. Oh, but Takeshita, Ricochet pinned Takeshita, and Takeshita ruined Ricochet winning the International Championship. Give me a fucking story. That's not story. No. A fucking second grader could write that fucking story. You blew through this match. You blew through the Takeshita match. Now what's left for Ricochet, man? I guarantee you this guy's going to be banished to fucking Collision. He's going to be working with Hologram and Beast Mortos on Collision.
No, I feel like TK is definitely getting buyer's remorse with Ricochet, man. I mean, the guy he's great at what he does, but he's very one-dimensional. He's a high flyer. He has fantastic spots. But outside of that, gimmick work, mic work, everything else that would come with being someone who can lead the company, to the next level, or at least be up there with everyone else as they attempt to lead the company to the next level, Ricochet is not going to be your guy. He'll be your guy to go out there and give you a banger match when you need a high flyer match or something like that. He's great for that, man. But to answer, what he said, no, he is not going to be the guy that's going to help lead a company. He is not. He is a fantastic mid-card guy, all right? He's a fantastic situational guy when you need a banger match out of someone, but he's not going to be that guy where people say, man, I can't wait to see the next Ricochet match. What Ricochet does is phenomenal in WWE, because they don't have a lot of people that can do the kind of things that Ricochet can, the things that Ricochet can do. They have a few, don't get me wrong, but not too many of them. Here in AEW, every other guy can go out there and put on a match like Ricochet and also bring more to the table. So Ricochet.
I mean, look at what Commander was doing in the fucking pre-show match with Beast Mortos and Dante Martin and Buddy Matthews. I mean,
yeah,
you got 1,000 fucking Ricochets on this roster. What makes Ricochet stand out? This was his decision to come here. Don't get me wrong. He wanted to prove himself away from WWE. I'm sure he's going to kill it no matter what he does. But this lifeless fucking Ricochet that we see right now, man, this was a soulless, uninspired mess on pay-per-view. The crowd could not give a single shit about this shit. Tony brought him in for one match, blew through that one match in 4 weeks, blew through Takeshita, and now the guy's got fucking nothing. So what are you going to do? And I don't even blame them. It's not even their fault. It's all Tony Khan. It's all creative.
No. If there was one person that I could pick right now that needs to undergo a heel turn, I would pick Ricochet. He needs to stop talking, period. Do not put a mic in his hand. He needs to have a handler. He needs to have someone who can speak for him, and he needs to be a dick. And that might be something that can help draw some interest. The only other problem is when he does eventually turn heel, hopefully he does, he needs to change up his fucking work style, man. You cannot work with that style as a heel. So now he has to change what he does best. He needs to work a different style. He can't go out there and be a high flyer doing 450 fucking corkscrews off the fucking ring post. Into that is not a heel moveset.
Bro, the perception from the audience to see that shit in every match does not give the audience the special feeling that they should be showing Ricochet. Ricochet's not special if you saw fucking 6 450 splashes from the first 3 hours of this show. It's not special anymore.
Yeah.
This match was also terrible because of the way the pay-per-view flowed. There was legitimately no break in anything that this show provided. There was no break. They went from one match to a 30-second video package into the next match, 30-second video package into the next match. They think that breaking up the matches with 30-second video packages is going to give the fans enough of a rest and enough of a fucking detox from what they just saw to get ready to go into the next match. How the fuck could you get ready for what Takeshita and Ricochet are going to bring to the table when they just sat through Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, then they had to sit through whatever came after that, and then after that, Jack Perry and Danny Garcia, and then into this match. Like, there's no rest. This is the product of Tony Khan booking 12 matches, 13 matches on pay-per-view. You don't need that many. 7 matches at best. Let things breathe. These guys were a product of fucking rapid fire pay-per-view, and the fact that we're sitting here blasting Ricochet and Takeshita, which should have been the second best match of the night, this ended up being one of the worst matches of the fucking night.
You want to know what I would try with Ricochet?
Put him in the Hurt Business?
Well, maybe not. It kind of seems like an easy fix.
Well, then he'll play. Then he'll be playing second fiddle to Bobby Lashley.
Exactly, and that's the problem. So, here's what I would try. What do you think about this one? I would put Ricochet back in a mask, and I'd turn him back into Prince Puma. Change his style up. Have it be a more heelish style. He's got to change that style up. Be a heel in a mask. Get him with someone who can fucking talk. Maybe Don Callis. You know, I don't know, just fucking spitballing, someone who can fucking talk for him. But I'm gonna put him in the mask, and what that's gonna do is that's gonna completely change his perception of his gimmick. All right, now he's a different character. He's a different guy. He's a fucking prick. He's a dick now. He can be Callus's fucking assassin or something like that. No more fucking talking. Just have him do shit, some evil dick type shit, and make him Prince fucking Puma, and try that because he needs to be a heel. This babyface shit is not fucking working. He needs to be a heel. He needs to do something to really, really get some major fucking heat and draw some interest from him as a fucking heel. I would put him back in the fucking mask and put him with maybe Callis. I don't want him with the Hurt Business, like you just said. He's completely overshadowed. He's going to drown in there.
I don't know. I mean, like you said, if he's going to go heel, he needs to change up his style drastically because he can't be doing fucking 630 sentons and springboard moonsaults and standing Spanish flies and whatever the fuck he wants to do, gymnastic shit off the top rope, man. We can't be seeing that shit. So something needs to change because Ricochet, after he came in at All In, his stock has been significantly going down, and he's not special. He's not. In this current climate of AEW with this roster, I could count 12 or 13 different Ricochets on this roster.
Yeah, I agree.
So we'll pick it up towards the end here. This was as boring can be. The crowd could not be bothered whatsoever for this. There was a spot where Don Callis got back involved here. He was on commentary as usual. Fuck Don Callis chance. Ricochet missed an axe kick, hit a thrust kick instead, but he followed up with a handspring, led into a Blue Thunder bomb by Takeshita. Ricochet blocked a power driver knee and did not go for the big forearm. Takeshita keeps throwing everything behind his shots here. Ricochet floated over a German suplex, tried for a Cazadora. Takeshita rolled through into a German suplex. Takeshita missed a lariat. Ricochet hit one of his own for a double down. Crowd could not be bothered whatsoever. Takeshita crushed Ricochet in the corner. Hit a release avalanche German suplex before a lariat turned Ricochet inside out. Power drive knee hit. Again, Ricochet kicked out. Takeshita again went for a move. He went back after Ricochet. They were up top. Ricochet sprung up with a Hurricane Rana, followed by a Poison Rana. Again, they're up top. Ricochet hits a shooting star press for 2. He signaled for his spirit gun, missed, tried vertigo. Takeshita countered into a bastard driver for 2. Takeshita wanted his knee, but Ricochet dodged into a brainbuster. Benadryller for a close near fall. Ricochet once more went up top, took too long. This allowed Takeshita to crotch him, hit a pump knee. Big avalanche Falcon Arrow, got the win, 1, 2, 3, and that was it. As anticlimactic as it was, Ricochet loses clean to Konosuke Takeshita after going after the International Championship. So He lost to Ospreay, or he had the match with Ospreay already fucking blown through. He went after the International Championship in a triple threat match at WrestleDream. Did not win there because of Takeshita. Wrestled Takeshita, lost clean for the International Championship. And now where does he go? Where does he go? Maybe he goes after Danny Garcia in the TNT title. He's not going after the world title. Where's he going? Is he going to be in the Continental Classic? I don't know, man. I'm lost.
Probably.
Maybe. I think that would be best for him. But as far as Ricochet, man, my love for Ricochet remains. I think he's a great wrestler, but man, he is not clicking it. He's not interesting in AEW, and that's not a bad take. It's just the way he comes off, man. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, he's not very interesting right now.
No.
He should be, but he's not. But I will say this. I've been, dumping everything on Creative's plate because most of it is Creative's fault. I think Ricochet is the one instance where I don't think there's anything Creative could have given Ricochet as a babyface and it would have gotten over. It is just Ricochet. Think about as long as you guys have been watching Ricochet on television, have you seen him do anything of interest anywhere? And he's been a babyface the entire time. Nothing. This guy is in desperate need of a heel run. I'm not even sitting here telling you that a heel turn is going to be the answer. I'm telling you, nothing as a babyface has worked. You have to now try turning him heel. See if that goes.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hoping for the best with Ricochet. But right now, it looks like a lost cause. And Tony Khan, he got as much out of his new toy as he can. And it looks like Ricochet is going to be put back in the toy shelf until Tony Khan tries something new with Ricochet. Maybe he gets a little bit more interested in Ricochet sometime next year. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but moving on here, we got Bobby Lashley and Swerve Strickland. This is a one-on-one match. Bobby Lashley's first one-on-one match in AEW after he had wrestled a two-on-one handicap match on Dynamite for whatever reason.
Against who?
Jordan, what's his name? Josh Keys or whatever the fuck his name was. And
the other guy?
Five Guys? Shake Shack?
Say his goddamn name correctly.
The Hamburglar?
It's fucking cheeseburger, bro.
Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburgers in the chat.
I could actually use a fucking cheeseburger right now. I'm kind of hungry. Right. Man, Swerve, I don't know if I'm the only one, man, but when Swerve's music hit, man, I felt like there was no reaction to his theme music. Did you hear that?
I'm not going to sit here and lie just to agree or disagree with you. I don't remember the reaction coming out. It felt very weak as far as the reaction is concerned. Maybe at this point the crowd just wanted the fucking show to be over. I don't know. To be honest, as he was coming out, I kept looking at Nana dancing, dreading what I had to do here tonight.
Okay.
So I'm like, fuck, I gotta sit here and do this fucking. God damn it. I honestly don't remember his reaction, bro.
This was a pretty dominating victory here over Swerve Strickland, which we kind of predicted anyway because Bobby Lashley's first one-on-one match, he's not going to lose. So this was as dominating of a win as you could probably have over the ex and former AEW World Champion here. Lashley needed to look strong. They did that tonight, and I don't really know where they go. I already made my predictions on this. If you can't beat him, join him kind of deal. I think Swerve is going to end up kind of not being in the Hurt business, but working as one unity between Swerve and the Hurt business.
That stare down with him and MVP was maybe kind of foreshadowing what they were going to do.
Yeah. Jim Ross was on commentary. He was out here for the last two matches. So we pick it up here. Early on, Lashley is in control. Big running power slam by Lashley, gets a 2 count. He slowed the match down, which is typical of Bobby Lashley. Worked the chin lock. He's working that WWE style on AEW TV.
Oh,
so Lashley missed a corner charge. Strickland seemed to go for a swerve stomp. Benjamin ran distraction on the outside. This was enough for Lashley to recover and launch Swerve with a running tackle. Back in the ring, Strickland started mounting a comeback. Benjamin tripped him, got caught by the ref. He was ejected and thrown out. On the other side of the ring, Strickland tried a slingshot crossbody, but Lashley caught him and slammed Strickland against the edge of the apron and then threw him into the barricade. He positioned the steel steps, tried a power slam on them. Swerve sent him crashing into the post and steps repeatedly. He gouged Lashley in the eye. He went for a DDT on the apron, but it looked like Lashley missed it, and it was a very bad and awkward spot on the outside. Lashley stumbled over the Spanish announce desk, and Strickland flew in with the swerve stomp off the steps through the table, which looked like a good spot. Back inside, house call, hit. Swerve went up top, hit the swerve stomp. Lashley kicked out. Lashley went outside. Swerve got in MVP's face, like Jesse said, but this delay allowed Lashley to hit a reverse overhead belly to belly. Big spear through the barricade. He throws him back in the ring. Lashley measured, turned Strickland inside out with another spear. Hurt lock, and Strickland passed out. Post-match, Nana was tossed in the ring by MVP and Benjamin, who came back out after being kicked out of ringside. Lashley applied the hurt lock again, and he also went out. Goodbye and good night. That was it.
Well, there you go. What else do you need?
What else do you need?
I mean, we knew the ending. We knew Lashley was not coming in to lose his first match. And now his first match is against what they have told us is the most dangerous man in the AEW. Is Lashley now the most dangerous man in AEW? I think by default.
I guess so.
Yeah. That's it.
Swerve says he's the most dangerous man in AEW. Clearly, he's not anymore.
What does Swerve do next? I don't know. I think it's very clear that Swerve is an extremely high priority on Tony Khan's list. So I am not worried about Swerve and what they do next. Whatever they do, they have put Swerve on a pedestal. They've made him look just as strong, if not stronger, than when he was world champion. I don't think he's lost any momentum. Lost a match, but it's not a big deal. I'm not worried about the direction of Swerve. I'm pretty sure that whatever they do, Swerve will be a high priority. Whether it'll be good storytelling or content, that's yet to be seen. If I had to guess at it, I would say no. But Swerve will be fine. This is a loss to Lashley they can take, and they can even have it play into the story since I feel like Swerve will be somewhere associated with, the Hurt Syndicate, like we said. So I think Swerve will be fine. The match was this fell under the match was fine category for me. It was fine. It did what it was supposed to do. Nothing.
Again, it just came off as a TV match to me. It did not feel like a big pay-per-view match. It felt very quick.
Yeah.
They needed to get Bobby Lashley a win to prove his dominance, being that he's the new guy in town here. I think Swerve is great. I'm not a big fan of Bobby Lashley, though the creative was right here in this decision. I just didn't care for this. I don't. The way the match came off to me, it just felt very boring. So there's really nothing for me to sink my teeth into there. I guess I'll let this play out and see where they go with this now that Swerve lost. Does he join them? Does he align with them in some way? Are they going to do business together with him not actually joining the group? I don't know. But it just feels like Swerve is kind of in limbo. Same thing with Paige, in limbo. What the fuck are we doing? These were two of your main characters on TV just months ago, and now they feel insignificant. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
They both lost.
Yeah, they both lost.
Hangman lost. Swerve lost.
Yeah.
These guys put on the best match we've seen in a long time when they did give it to us. And they both lost.
They both lost? I do think Swerve is going to be world champion again, but...
oh, yeah.
When and where, I don't know. I have no faith in creative. Main event, Jon Moxley with the Death Riders. He was out there only with Marina Shafir. And Orange Cassidy to retain the AEW World Championship. We never saw the AEW World title at all.
No.
Not once.
I was waiting for them to pull it out. So, I hope they pull it out and prove they can fit in that case. Nah, they didn't take it out.
No, they didn't take it out of the briefcase. We never saw it. Death Riders pulled up in the truck that they've been driving around, pulled up to the arena in the truck. And Pac came out wearing his ring gear. Moxley, Claudio, and the rest of them arrive. No Wheeler Yuta. So it's just Moxley and Shafir walking through the crowd. So Orange Cassidy fires off 3 orange punches and a tope during the ring introductions. I'm so happy that they started the match this way because I swear to God, if they started the match off with a bell ringing and we got some collar and elbow tie-up here, I would have been fucking pissed. We still got the gimmick kicks in this match, which I don't know why, if this is for control of AEW, which we know it's not. He still delivered the gimmick kicks in this match, which is ridiculous. But the match started off hot. They spill onto the commentary table. Cassidy lit up Moxley with punches, started biting at his head. Moxley went to the eyes, crotched Cassidy on the barricade. Things go into the crowd. Moxley dragged Cassidy back to ringside, and he stomped Cassidy's head into the steel steps, and Orange Cassidy was busted open. So he started bleeding first before Jon Moxley did. Nobody had that on their bingo card tonight, and here we are.
No, not at all.
Moxley connected with a paradigm shift on the steps as he distracted the referee long enough for Marina to get in some cheap shots. They finally are in the ring now. Moxley's on the attack. He's biting at the bloody forehead before hitting another pile driver. What is this, the 8th pile driver tonight? Moxley
There were a lot of pile drivers tonight.
Yeah. So he went for his pile driver. Moxley went back to some punches. Placed Cassidy on the Spanish announce table, which was put together because Swerve and Bobby Lashley went through it, so they got a new table.
They put it back together.
They put it back together.
Fucking destroyed again.
Chucked him into the steps. While his hands were covered in Cassidy's blood, Moxley high-fived Shafir. Cassidy started firing up, and the crowd was slowly starting to get behind him as he refused to back down until Moxley punted him in the ribs and hit a release suplex. Kimura lock. Cassidy got to the ropes, rolled to the apron. Moxley charged. Cassidy went crashing into the barricade. Moxley gave the middle finger to New Jersey. Moxley then dared Cassidy to fight back. He tried, but again, Moxley hit him so hard, Cassidy fell down and was knocked out. While in the corner, Moxley then just raked the back, which looked great because it just showed his bloody handprints and bloody claws right over Orange's back. So Orange returned the favor. He leapt up for a DDT off the top. Moxley popped him midair with a forearm. Cassidy started biting the fingers of Moxley, but fell to a guillotine. He's back up in the corner. Moxley went for an avalanche pile driver, another pile driver attempt. Cassidy fought free, hit a diving DDT, and then he hit the spinning DDT. And Cassidy wanted another orange punch, but Moxley met him with a cutter. So both start punching each other, which turned to forearms. Cassidy was out on his feet, kept daring Moxley to hit him until he put his hands in his pockets and fired off his gimmick kicks, which is ridiculous in this type of match at this stage of the match. Cassidy ducked a lariat, fired off 2 orange punches, but followed with a Cazadora for a pin of 2. Cassidy kipped up, went for a 3rd orange punch, beach break for a near fall, which was great because Excalibur said it was a very similar callback to how Cassidy won their match last year at Full Gear. All of a sudden, Claudio and Pac emerge from the crowd, and they were looking to get into trouble here. All of a sudden, Tomohiro Ishii comes out with Kyle O'Reilly, Rocky Romero, and the rest of the conglomeration, and everything is going wild on the outside. Rocky Romero hits a dive off the top rope. Bryce Remsburg, the referee here, his attention was turned to the chaos on the outside. Marina was in the ring with the briefcase, about to strike Orange Cassidy in the face with it, and all of a sudden we see Willow Nightingale return to action. She was kind of paired up with the conglomeration for a little bit before she went out with injury, so I'm guessing they're asking people to please remember this. Who the fuck cares? So she's out there. She made the save and tackled Shavir to the floor. Cassidy got the briefcase, hit Moxley in the face with it. Bryce turned around. There was a momentary fucking spot here, Jesse, where I legitimately thought that Orange Cassidy had the title won. That was a great near fall after the briefcase spot.
It's a fantastic count cadence and kick out and everything. That was perfectly done.
Yeah, that was nicely done. Moxley stumbled around, grabbed the ref, which allowed Wheeler Yuta to fly in behind Bryce Remsburg with a Busaiku knee. It led to a Death Rider, and Moxley got a cheap victory. Post-match, Yuta grabbed a cleaning bottle with cleaning agent in it, and he poured it all over Orange Cassidy's face, down his throat, in his eyes. Hangman Page, yes, Hangman Adam Page strolled out, and I got a little giddy. I got a little excited. I'm like, all right, this is it. This is the guy to take the belt off Moxley. This is the battle that we need right here. This is going to take it to the next level. What is he out there doing? He's out there with a steel chair. He decked Yuta in the head, and then all of a sudden we get Christian Cage coming on out with his contract. He connected on a kill switch on Jon Moxley. Page picked up Cage's contract, gave it to Christian, and he was about to give it to the referee, was Christian, and then Jay White comes out of nowhere, ran down, and prevented Cage from cashing in the title, hitting him with a Blade Runner. Pac and Claudio attacked Jay White, who left laughing as the Death Riders ran away. White grabbed the chair, stormed to the back as the Death Riders were going to their truck, when all of a sudden a car slammed into their Jeep and their pickup truck. It was Darby Allin stumbling out of the car, bleeding from his forehead. The Death Riders frantically take a pair of car keys to another vehicle. They steal a vehicle in the valet section, speed off, with Darby Allin screaming, "Come back, let's finish things right now." He's slamming his skateboard on their pickup truck, breaking the windshield of their pickup truck, slipping along the way on the hood of the car, and frantically the show goes off the air with Darby Allin destroying their vehicle. Bro, this was all over the fucking place. I mean, what the fuck was this clusterfuck, bro?
It was so bad, man. I do not understand what that sequence was. All of it threw me off. Why is Hangman out there? He just lost to Jay White. Why did Christian Cage come out to tease a cash in and then have Hangman holding on to it? So now we're looking at Christian Cage and Hangman, but
let me stop you there. What does Jay White at this point have to do with Christian Cage? Isn't Christian Cage feuding with Hook? Why didn't we see Hook come out and stop him with the cash in?
Isn't Hangman a heel?
Hangman is a heel. Jay White is the babyface, yes.
So what did Hangman do when he came out?
He handed the title to Christian.
No. Hangman came out first.
Hangman hit Yuta.
Okay. Isn't Yuta heel?
Yes.
So why did Hangman come out to knock out Yuta?
I don't know.
Is Hangman babyface now? But then he just handed over the contract back to Christian Cage. So clearly he's heel. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know what's going on with any character as far as who's a good guy, who's a bad guy, who has good intentions, who has bad intentions. What is going on? Why would he come out and lay out a heel?
I'm genuinely confused.
I'm so lost, man.
So we got rid of Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy's an afterthought now. He goes back to hands in pockets and playing pocket pool with himself and the rest of the conglomeration. And now we get Jay White, Adam Page, and Christian Cage all vying for the World Championship against Jon Moxley? What does Adam Page have to do with the World Championship when he lost twice to Jay White? Like, why is he being used as like a lackey here? Is he now all of a sudden buddy with Christian Cage? Why? Because they were tag team partners against Jay White?
I'm so
and Juice
lost.
Robinson?
This is what I meant by the bell-to-bell wrestling was good, but the overall storytelling throughout the whole show was just absolutely fucking baffling. I have no idea what happened in that last segment. I'm so lost on everything right now.
Like, I get Christian wanting to cash in on a down Jon Moxley. I get it. But Adam Page and Jay White, I'm just kind of confused about what their inclusion is in here. And why do we believe in Darby Allin after Darby Allin lost to Claudio clean on Dynamite? How does anybody believe he's going to stand the chance against Jon Moxley? How has he been positioned as the guy now to take down Jon Moxley? this was, I swear to God, this was as if Tony Khan booked the ending of this show last night in the fucking hotel room and he was tripping on acid.
I'm
I want to have my main event match go off, and I'm going to have Christian Cage come in and cash in. I'm going to have a teaser cash in. I want Adam Page out there. I want Jay White out there. And then I want, you know what I want, Will? You know what I want? I want Darby Allin to speed into the parking lot, speeding at a high velocity. I want him to crash into the Death Rider's Jeep. And then I want him to jump on the windshield and start smashing it frantically with his skateboard. And I want the Death Riders to confiscate a vehicle that's not theirs and commit burglary. And I want them to run away and speed away in a Jeep that's not theirs. It's like, what the fuck?
How did we get here? Like, what is happening right now?
Can you hand me another one of them White Claws? I'm 8 deep. What the fuck are we doing, bro?
I'm so lost, man. I'm so lost.
Jesus Christ.
I'm so lost, man. I don't know what to fucking say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what is going on.
Swear to God, this would be like something that Vince would book at Great Balls of Fire.
Great Balls of Fire.
Pal! This show was a thumbs down show. I stand corrected. Everything I said tonight on tonight's stream, I plant my fucking cap on everything I said. But they had, we bring the doom to you. That's great. That's all anybody's going to remember from this fucking show.
The Doom Show.
Yeah, it's the Doom Show. Is this show? Does this show, chat? Does this show get a boom, or does this show get a doom?
Boom or doom?
This show gets a doom.
Oh man!
Worst pay-per-view of the year. They are ice cold and they are fucking clueless. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Don't know what else to tell you. We're gonna get into your super chats.
What a show.
Hangman was probably promised the title shot if he helped Christian win it. Teased 2 weeks ago, and Jay never got revenge. That's how I interpreted it.
I'm glad we can make up our own scenarios and try to make sense out of them.
Sure. Christian Cage is going to promise Adam Page a world title shot? I doubt that. That ain't happening. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for all your support here. We're going to get into your super chats. Follow us on social media at JD from NY206, at Chi-Town Smark on X. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go follow the second channel, JD from NY Shorts. We just hit 7,100 subscribers over there on the second channel. And hit that thumbs up, man. We are over the 1,000 goal limit. Let's try for 1,500 before we get out of here. And let's read through your super chats so Jesse and I can get to fucking bed. Timmy.
My back is killing me. So.
Yeah, me too. Timmy No Turner with a 199. Don't care what anybody says. That AJ match was fun. Sure.
The first time I heard everyone talking about AJ and AEW, this is how oblivious I am to what what these people do. I thought there was some kind of talk about AJ Styles coming into the company.
That would be career suicide.
It would be. I have no. There's only one AJ I'm aware of in pro wrestling. I don't know who these Costco fucking dudes are. I don't know about cookies.
AJ Lee.
She's not in wrestling.
Yeah, she's married though to the hottest guy in the business though.
Well, who? Beast Mortos?
Frank the Attorney?
Hey, man. Hey. It's Mr. Beast Mortos to you, sir.
B Mandible with a new membership. Thank you, B Mandible. Eddie Hazard with a $50 super chat, Eddie Hazard. Just going to go ahead and give you guys a 50. I would normally have given AEW. I meant what I said Wednesday. First AEW pay-per-view I didn't buy since they started and didn't feel conflicted about it. OTS for life. Eddie.
That's awesome.
Eddie, appreciate you, brother. I love seeing
somebody come into my stream and say the same thing. I'd rather give this to you guys than AEW.
I appreciate that, Eddie. Thank you very much, brother. Pause with a new membership. Thank you, Pause. Welcome. B Mandible and Pause. Welcome. Best in the world, Matt with a $10 super chat. Would like to give a shout out to A. Toda Madre. You truly are the GOAT. Much love to the OTS fam and Taco crew.
This fucking guy is the reason that I had to do the fucking Nana dance tonight.
Oh my goodness. Lane with a new membership. Lane, thank you, brother. What the fuck are you drinking? Black Wolf Inc. with a $5 super chat. I had tickets for Full Gear, but after the last 2 weeks of shows, having to work tonight and a date for show canceling, thank God I skipped the show. Yeah, you did. Clearly, you didn't miss much of anything, bro. Boots! $2 super chat. That ending felt like a Jeff Jarrett TNA booking. Oh, yeah. I don't know what the fuck that was, man. It was all over the place.
Boots is fucking awesome, man.
Andy,
shout out to Boots.
Yeah, shout out to Boots. Andy V. Romney with a $10 super chat. I hope this TNT title match proves that con man, that nobody gives a fuck about Stone Cold Danny Garcia and the Whole Foods Employee of the Month, Jack Mid-Perry. But LOL, who am I kidding? I had someone on social media claim that this was Stone Cold and Rock energy. I think these... I think these people are fucking operating with a tenth of a brain cell, bro. In no way is Danny Garcia or Jack Perry ever in 6 lifetimes going to be at the same level as Stone Cold and The Rock.
They were not at the level of Stone Cold and The Rock if they had a match in 2024.
You could fucking find a magic lantern in the middle of the fucking desert somewhere and wish upon whatever you want, and the genie grants you 3 wishes. If all 3 wishes were you to be the next Stone Cold or The Rock, you still wouldn't be the Stone Cold or The Rock.
That's awesome.
Fuck out of here.
Drinking some really good shit, or smoking some really good shit tonight.
Man of 1,005 holds with a $5 super chat. Fletcher and Ospreay gave me hope on AEW Creative on probably the only match that got me invested in terms of story and match. Hashtag fight forever. They're great. That's what happens when you got great pro wrestlers and some semblance of a story. It all works out. Gamma Thor with a 27 months. At least there was Ospreay versus Fletcher. Yes, match of the night. Trevor, what's up, brother? Nice hat. Bro, ever since you got me the hat, I haven't taken it off. Every stream. Was at Full Gear tonight. Ending was all over the place. A few great matches. Fletcher Ospreay stole the show. We started a Neo chant because that's all Mercedes did. Bring the boom. Yeah, she loves that Meteora. Trevor with a $4.99. He also wants to add on, I did buy the hologram mask. Hashtag HoloGang. You should have got me one too, bro. I'd wear it on the stream. I can't justify spending $50, man. I can't.
$50.
It's $49.99. That's minus the tax and minus the shipping. So you're probably looking at you're probably looking at $60.
That include fucking shipping and 3 extra masks?
If I put the mask on, am I going to be able to do a Spanish fly? Is what I want to know. Daz with a $5 super chat. That was possibly the worst AEW pay-per-view I've had the displeasure of watching. Tony Cook needs to hire someone, anyone, for fuck's sake. Yes, I agree. Arcade the Hedgehog with a $5 super chat. Oh, yes. Kid Tony with his adult-sized body slamming, his action figures, and his toys together throwing new stories that we can't follow at the AEW school. Pause with the 10 months. Happy 10 months. Could you see them doing Cody versus KO versus Randy at Mania for the WWE Championship? No, I want a one-on-one match if Cody's going to be defending the title.
Yeah.
Learning Tree Jericho with a $20 super chat. If I'm TK, the first Dynamite of 2025 is a hard factory settings reboot. All titles vacant. Any stories are scrapped. And everyone gets a fresh start. Yes, WCW did it, but it's AEW's only way out of this creative obscurity. Bro, they will never do that because then that would be them admitting failure. And they have never given off the impression that they will admit that they are wrong about anything.
Is Naomi guilty What's everybody talking about?
Naomi quote tweeted me today. See that?
No, what'd she say?
She said, and actually, for context, I tweeted a picture of her looking into the hard cam on Friday Night SmackDown. My friend Keith sent me a picture because he listened to the podcast last night where I said, I think Bayley is turning heel. So he sent me a text saying, well, not if after this picture. It looks like they may turn Naomi heel. So I screenshotted the picture, put it on Twitter, and I said, a friend listened to the podcast last night when I said turn Bayley heel and that Bayley took Jade out because Jade was attacked last night. Nobody knows who did it. He sent me this, and I screenshotted the picture from last night. That look from Naomi, I didn't see it. Would they? So Naomi, she quote tweets me and quote tweets my tweet. She says, JD, I thought we was cool. I would never. So I quote tweet her back. I'm like, oh no, crying emoji. We would still love you though. Just go win that United States Championship.
Ooh, that sounds sus.
Yeah. Listen, man. Listen, I'm all for a Trinity heel turn, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that would work.
That sounds sus.
We love Trinity. We love Naomi. Pause. Pause with a learning tree. I would absolutely do that. I just don't see them doing that. Best in the world, Matt. Jesse, I meant every word of my super chats on your live early. It wouldn't be the same without you here and now. We love the Chi-Town Smark, OTS fam, and Taco crew for life.
I am feeling the love here, guys. I am grateful and happy that you guys are enjoying what we do here. And JD talked about it the other day.
Yep.
We're always looking to keep you guys entertained, man. We are extremely happy that you guys are entertained and enjoy what we do. Thank you guys so much.
Pause with a 5. If we get Cody versus Rock, I want to see Seth versus Punk versus Reigns. No, we're getting Punk versus Seth, and we're going to get Cody one-on-one against either Randy or John Cena, I think. I think we're getting Reigns and Rock. Edward with a $9.99. I watched Jesse's live stream instead after seeing the same old lazy stage setup, and that was $50 well saved. Sounds like I should be glad to save my money and no boom and no double chocolate chunk cookie for me. Jay Beezy with a 10. You couldn't pay me to watch that Full Gear from the post show. Mr. Boom in his pants with his overweight, never seen a veggie boom in his pants son. This was Lashley's sisters on Raw cringe. It was so bad. Oh my God. You know, one of Lashley's sisters was actually Max Caster.
Yeah, I brought that up in my stream. I said, if Max Caster joins the Hurt Business, it's Bobby Lashley getting reunited with his sister.
Robbie with a $4.99. I was at the show live, and I hate to say this, but I was ready to fall asleep during the Perry and Garcia match. The show felt rushed and wasn't that great. No, there was no time to fucking breathe. I mean, you people that go to these shows, man, you can't even get up and go to the bathroom. You feel like you're going to miss half the fucking match.
You know, like you said earlier, that every match was like, was prefaced with a video package.
A 30-second video package, yeah.
Remember back when we complained that they didn't even have that? Like, they didn't even have video packages.
Well, yeah, I mean, they at least they're trying, but my God, man, it still felt like it was like 1,000 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Jay Beezy with a $20 super chat after the pay-per-view. I have no hope with this Australian Super Show in February. I doubt they're going to sell many tickets to that show, honestly. Currently looking at the seats still available for the show. They haven't even sold seats for row B, a.k.a. the seats you see on camera. That's going to be a fucking disaster.
Wow.
They weren't even sold out tonight for this show. They still had 1,000 tickets in allotment.
Wait. A February Australian show?
Yeah, they're going to Australia, the Grand Slam show, yeah.
And how many tickets are sold so far?
I have no idea. I don't think WrestleTix updated.
I think you guys are fucking worrying ahead of time, man. It's a broad show. It'll do well. Plus, this is still before the holiday season, man. I think after the holiday season, you'll get a boom in those ticket sales.
Jerry Ramey with a $20 super chat. Thank you, brother. This show is a full display of why Tony Khan needs a neutral voice of reason to help raise quality. Mina, I know a nobody known for eating Costco. Glad Garcia won, but AEW needs to give us something to invest in. Yeah, there wasn't a lot to invest in on this show, bro. And it's not Costco. Rusty with a 37 months. JD, I looked forever for Cleveland show. Finally, 1 month till they announced no PR t-shirts. Stands are horrible, and they took every sign not double-sided. I looked forever for Cleveland show. Finally, 1 month till they announced no PR t-shirts. Why do they take signs? Why are they taking signs not double-sided?
Nope, we are not commenting on that. We don't know if they took signs or not. They probably didn't. We don't know.
Rusty, your message was very confusing, bro. You have to make sense of what you said there. I don't know what you said. Aaron Ruggiero with a $50 super chat. Thank you, Aaron. Honestly, love the main event, but the ending fell so flat. Christian should have won the title there, in my opinion. Typical Tony Khan ruining a good moment. Bro, Moxley is not losing this championship for a very long time. This story's already dead, and Moxley is unfortunately going to be holding the championship for a very long time.
Christian Cage cashing in successfully tonight would have been an incredibly large creative blunder, because the man was out there with his whole goddamn crew. His whole crew.
Yeah.
And no one could have stopped the cash in win. Everybody was out. Marina was out there. Everybody was out there. No, man. And they all got, singled up, and they couldn't get in and stop a cat. Bullshit. Not buying it. Moxley goes out there and fights dudes with pizza cutters and fucking nails and tacks and glass, and he get bonked over a head with a clipboard and he can't get up. Get the fuck out.
Aaron, thank you, brother. Mr. Premium with a $20 super chat. Attending SmackDown last night after going to AEW Dynamite last month here in Utah is such a night and day difference when it comes to crowd reaction. Then this show came on and proved that point to be correct. Wow. Yeah, the crowd was awful. I genuinely don't know how many tickets they're actually giving away for free, because if you actually bought tickets and you didn't react to this show, I mean, you're just a shit fan. Like, I take great pride in a great crowd, man. If you don't have a great crowd, it's half the fucking show. Crowd means everything. Mr. Premium 2002 with $4.99. Did Big Boom talk to Adam Cole and Colt Cabana first before dropping the Doom? No. No, I'd love to know what CM Punk thinks of this garbage. He'd probably fucking be laughing at it like the rest of us are. Gold Standard with a $5 super chat. The Plumber versus Pockets match. The most embarrassing main event of an AEW pay-per-view ever. The match was fine. I mean, it wasn't anything special. I enjoyed their match last year a lot more. This story is not hitting it for me, man. I think this story is fucking terrible. Just not doing it, man. Control over AEW? Give me a fucking break.
Why does Orange Cassidy have or has an interest in getting control?
I don't know. Matt Eagle with a $1.99. Without story, banger matches are just hollow. Agreed. Cake with a 2. Ethan Page, in theory, will never see that AJ pop. Well, Ethan Page is boring, and Austin Theory is so young that he's not even anywhere close to his prime yet. So why are we writing him off? Jay Beasy with a $10 super chat. Let's not forget there was a little crumble of a story on WWE Short following Punk and Owens crossing paths. And with how Owens is more ruthless, take my goddamn money. I'm assuming we'll get Punk versus Owens at some point. Mr. Noob with a 5. Pretty sure I counted 8 piledriver variations tonight with no pins. On a side note, what happened to Randy Orton? Is he hurt? No, it's just storyline reason. He had cervical contusions with a Kevin Owens piledriver, while AEW gave us 8 piledrivers, and they no-sold every one of them. Stu Sexton, thank you for your membership, brother. I see you. Stink Malenko with a $5 super chat. Used to love it, and now I'm ashamed, dude. Needs way better storytelling to be warrant caring about dream repackaged matches. I want to like it, but meh. You are not the only one, man. You're not the only one. Everybody feels the same way you do. MGM, thank you, brother, for the 100. Glad you kind of enjoyed yourself a little bit, maybe. Triple M, $2 super chat. I rate AEW 0 double chocolate chunk cookies out of 10. And then he writes, I didn't watch. Good.
I'm so tired of hearing that phrase already.
Good.
Already.
Wrestling XFR with a 199. TK said this year was the greatest year in AEW. This was the worst year in AEW.
Yeah, by far.
By far. Theme parks and things with Johnny at 24 months. He's got his golden microphone. Keep up the great work, guys. In my opinion, about MJF, do you think the advertisers had Warner Brothers tone down MJF? Just an opinion. Love the work, you guys. Thank you for the passion, JD. Why would they tell MJF to tone it down?
Tone it down? Just shit on the whole state. What did he tone down?
We don't need MJF to tone down anything. No. Scorpio. $5 Super Chat. Excalibur makes Kevin Patrick feel like Michael Cole. He sucks. Get Mauro Ranallo, Tony. By the way, where's Stokely Hathaway? He's definitely in catering. Yeah. And I love Mauro. I think Excalibur is just fucking... He's just awful. Nah, his voice does not fit the product anymore.
I wonder if Stokely pissed off Tony Khan or something.
Had to.
Took stat from her.
Had to.
From him. Something, man. I don't.
Just very weird. Scooters Casual. $5 Super Chat. Here we are 1 year since CM Punk back in WWE, not causing problems and working with people that don't like him. Wow. Goes to show you what was the problem. Yeah. Yeah, everybody else. Well, I mean, Punk is not innocent. Don't get me wrong, but every month that passes and every show that we see from AEW, it's clear as day that Punk was almost right about everything that happens in that company, man. It's not a business. It's not a fucking business. It's all revolving around one guy and what he wants and what he wants to see. He's a money mark. Kid Revos with a 5. Remember that promo by Paige about protecting the company from Punk? I bet they turn him babyface to go at Mox. Well, I would rather him be the guy to take down Mox instead of Darby Allin. Cake with a $5 Super Chat. Hangman will never beat Jay White one-on-one like Drew McIntyre will never beat Roman. What's so hard about that? Because he burned the fucking house down and beat the ex-AEW World Champion to an inch of his life in a steel cage. Why is he not able to beat Jay White? A little outlandish there, bro.
Yeah.
Keith Hobson with a 20. Cookies! Nom, 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 nom. Personally, I'm waiting for War Games. OTS forever. Thank you, Keith. Dylan, new membership. Thank you, brother. Francis Loop with 30 in Super Chat. Go see Gladiator 2. I nominated for 5 Academy Awards for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Denzel Washington, Best Choreograph, and Best Cinematography. Bring on Gladiator 3. I haven't gotten a chance to see it. I mean, it only came out yesterday. He also says, can we make Big Bill a dominating serious heel, turn FTR heel, and get Preston Vance and put them in the Death Riders just to make them more dominant? Willow and Marina, good. And also, can we get 1 million man Persian army from 300 to invade Rome for Gladiator 3? That would be awesome. Have Jinder Mahal play the Persian leader. Bring back the Immortals. They were awesome. Francis also says, I thought Satnam Singh was hired by AEW to get them into the Indian market. Did you know what Jinder and Satnam... Or did you know that they were AAA Tag Team Champions, Jinder and Satnam? Yes, I do. I did know that. Francis, you got one weird way of thinking, bro. You're very out there, man. I'm going to go see Gladiator hopefully tomorrow. I got to see if it's playing in the theater in town here. Moore with a $5 Super Chat. Hangman was probably promised a title. Oh, I just read that. Thank you, Moore. John Jacobs with a 5. God help humanity. Yeah. Yes, help them. Double chocolate chunk cookies. Darren Alexander with a $2 Super Chat. Only one Justice, and it's Sid, not Fat Boy Justice. No. Joey Clemenza with 35 months. Great review, guys. Anyways, JD, buy the hologram mask. You wear it once on your show, and it's a tax write-off. You two keep doing what you do. I'm thinking about it, man. I don't know. I don't want to give them any money. Cad Ariel Mitchell with a $4.99. We miss Ms. Ambrose in WWE. We Shuro. Ms. Oh, no, we miss Mox. I don't. Why you spelled it wrong, bro? We miss Mox Ambrose in WWE. Do we? More with a $2 super chat. Ricky Starks was backstage at the pay-per-view. Back on track. No. And Francis Loop with a $10 super chat. Jinder Mahal and Satnam Singh are the AAA Tag Team Champions. Isn't that the reason why Satnam was hired? To get them into the Indian market. I would try and hire Jinder for that reason as well. Bro, you want to hire Jinder Mahal for AEW? You really want to give me a heart attack, huh? Come on.
Bro, it's been a long night. You're a little delusional. You've probably been drinking a little bit too much.
Yep.
I think we're done here, Francis.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, we're done, Francis. I love you, bro, but thank you. No, thank you. Jesse, we're all wrapped up here, man. We had a great stream. We had 3,500. Man, we had at least half of the people that tuned into the media scrum tonight for a Full Gear, man. How was that for a double chocolate chunk cookie?
You guys are amazing, man. Held up my end of the bargain. Told you guys you came through for me. I will come through for you. I'm here. I've been in this chair for about 8 hours. 8 hours. I sat down here at 7 p.m. Central. It is 3 a.m. Central. I am beat. My back hurts so much. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you all.
You know, you guys don't realize how these streams just affect me severely the next day, man. But I have no choice. I got to do them because, I mean, the audience is here the night of. They're not going to be here tomorrow. So I'll probably be in bed till about 4 p.m. tomorrow. Going to bed with the fucking, the darkness and waking up in the darkness. Hopefully you guys appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. As always, man, follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Do the same thing for Jesse on X and on YouTube. Go check out all the other videos on the channel. Next time you see me live will be on Monday Night Raw. We got the Survivor Series next weekend, man. Oh, my goodness. An actual show we can get excited about, man. Can't wait. It's going to be a good one. Jesse may even do a watch along for that.
Yeah, I will.
Probably. Next time you see me, we'll be live on Monday. I'm not sure if I'll do anything tomorrow. I may actually go see Gladiator 2 tomorrow. I got to see what's going on, if the weather holds up. It's been fucking cold over here. But please, make sure you guys tune in Monday. Thank you to everybody on Twitch. Appreciate you guys for sticking with me on Twitch. You guys are great. Sriracha1, subscribe with Twitch Prime. Couple follows tonight as well, guys. Thank you very much. We're already at 11,250 as far as followers on Twitch. Appreciate you guys very much. And until Monday, have a great night, guys. Be safe. Enjoy your Sundays. Enjoy your football. AEW shit the bed tonight. And Wednesday, Jesse and I will be back to cover all that happens with AEW. Until then, guys, we'll talk to you later.